Oh, hello and welcome back to your favourite janky-ass podcast that they may as well never work. I was just bitching about how my green screen that I happily showed off in one of the latest previous episodes is actually shit, and I'm not going to bother with it after today's episode. And then we've also just spent like a little bit of time, because we record this live at twitch.tv/streamsbadly. You can watch it after we've recorded it on the Streams Badly YouTube channel for the video version, or you can get the audio version on all good podcast streaming platforms such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But we record it and publish it live at twitch.tv/streamsbadly. And you have to give the stream a title, and we wanted to call it... What did we first wanted to call it?
Originally, because and by the way, feel free to tune out of today's episode because I'm going to be talking about my obsession, which is Warhammer, like, primarily. We're going to have little stuff breaking it up in between, but I want... because I'm just going to be sat here talking about Warhammer, I wanted to call the stream Virgin Loser Talks About Little Plastic Men for an hour and a half, and he wouldn't allow it.
We've managed to alter. Yeah, it said there was an offensive or banned word, so we've managed to alter it to get to the point of Fat Freak Talks About Small Plastic Men. Apparently, that's better.
Because that's better. That's allowed. That's fine.
Yeah. So, by Twitch's own admission, being a virgin is worse than being a virgin loser is worse than being a fat freak.
Yeah. Well,
that's what they said, not us. I know we didn't put it that way. So yeah,
because you could be a fat freak, but still got some pussy. So I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose. Today's podcast is one of those where you have to indulge us and pretend you're interested in one of our hobbies, and the whole point of it is I have to listen to Judd blabber on about this bullshit that he likes, and I've got to pretend that I'm interested in it. But don't worry, there will be some other slightly different topics to break it up to if you're not interested in Warhammer, so stick around for all that. As you can see, I'm once again green screened into Paddy's pub, so today I've got a concoction that I've mixed up. Something for you to try, right? Caribbean type spiced rum, so you know, like where it's got like vanilla-y type of flavours and stuff to the spiced rum. Not so much dark rum, not like... definitely not white rum, but specifically like spiced rum, and quite also Old J is a good one of those things like that. That mixed quite heavily, quite a lot of that mixed with Mountain Dew. Because Mountain Dew's so sugary, you can you don't have to mix too much Mountain Dew with it. But I'm telling you, it tastes fantastic. It tastes like liquid ice cream. You know when you let ice cream melt and it's just liquid and it's bad. It tastes like if you had that and it was also good and refreshing. It tastes really good. It tastes like kind of like cream soda. It's great. That's just a little recommendation from your resident barman over here. But speaking of alcohol,
you're working in Paddy's pub, so yeah.
That is true. Speaking of Paddy's pub, I've been rewatching Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and it's good. I like it. It's so easy to watch.
Fucking good. Yeah.
Because you can just binge it and watch these people do shitty things and just feel kind of like them scamps.
I watch it all the time. I'm constantly watching Always Sunny because I'll if I ever sit down and watch something, which isn't a whole lot, or I don't watch a lot of TV. I'll just think, what do I want to watch that I can just have on? And it's always sunny.
It's really easy. I always tend to have a few things on the go. Like I'll have kind of an hour length, kind of dramatic, you almost have to fully pay attention to it type of thing. I'll have something I'm watching with my girlfriend, and then like a casual show that you can you don't have to pay much attention to, and you can probably binge watch 10 episodes without even thinking about it. So Always Sunny is that at the minute. I've also been watching Vikings, but it's rated really well, but I don't know about that show. We might get into that later. But speaking of drinks as well, the heavens blessed us today, as we've been discussing earlier. I don't really know how this has happened, but basically, my girlfriend's friends with this woman on Facebook, and this woman's job is all she does is she posts on Facebook and says, do I have anyone on here who is blah, 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 blah. And then sometimes there's a bit of money that you get for being blah, 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 blah. So, for example, one I've previously done is a house, someone who's been attempting to buy a house, a male who's been attempting to buy a house recently. That was one of them that I've done previously, and you just had to sit on a Zoom call, and you had to
Is it trying and desperately failing?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much me. And you had to sit on a Zoom call. It's just this man said, "What do you think of this logo? What do you think of this idea? What's your situation?" That sort of thing, and then you get like 25 quid after doing it. But
speaking of drinks, by the way, Jake. I've started. I've got a little helping hand for me to talk about my nerd shit.
You've gone with Jaeger.
It's not.
Is there any of that in the back of this Paddy's Pub image I've got on here? Shall we see?
It's not that I've gone with it. It's that I was like, I wonder what I've got in, and then I forgot I had two full bottles of Jägermeister, but I finished the first.
What, tonight? How much did you have
tonight.
there?
Not tonight. I finished it a couple of days ago, I think.
Well, for the people who's watching the video version of the podcast, you're in luck. Look, Jägermeister is definitely stocked at Paddy's Pub.
Oh,
obviously,
yes.
the audio version won't be able to see this, but it's right there, right in the middle of the screen on the shelf.
Don't worry, guys. Jake has a pretend Jägermeister behind him, so we're covered. We're all good.
So it's like I'm serving you, Judd. It's good.
It is.
I wish I had a bottle of Jägermeister as well that I could like pretend pour it into your glass. Oh no, I've broken the illusion. I've stuck my arm outside of Paddy's Pub. Oh god, that's not good.
God damn it, it's all gone to hell.
Anyway, sorry, we're blabbering on. So yeah, there's this kind of market research lady, and one of the ones that she posted was they need people who tend to have like essentially pre-drinks before going on a night out, aged 18 to 24, to test out some alcohol. There was another one. There was like they would either pick you to test out some alcohol or go to Nando's for free and get paid to go to Nando's or something like Nando's. So they, like a chain restaurant. But so my girlfriend, said to the lady, we fit this perfect. Hit us up. We'll take some money. And the coin was flipped and we landed on the alcohol. Congrats, everyone. We did it.
Nice.
We did it. Yes. Our alcoholism can be fulfilled. Wonderful.
Awesome.
So yeah, they picked us for that. And so me and Jasmine essentially needed to find at least 2 other people like that to test some alcohol with. And obviously, the first person I messaged was Judd. So, Jasmine asked me to ask you, and I was like, this is just a formality. I could have just driven to your house and go, there's free alcohol over here, and you go, oh, okay.
Yeah. I would have been like in my dressing gown or something, like only my dressing gown, and I would have still got in your car.
And I just driven to your house, knocked on the door, shouted, Judd! Free alcohol, and you just got up out your seat and just
I would have smashed. I would come like flying out my bedroom window,
like the fucking Kool-Aid man. He just burst through the wall. Oh yeah, yeah. So basically, there's a couple of Jasmine's friends that we're gonna go to their house to try this alcohol. I don't know how we get it or anything like that. I don't know how we obtain this alcohol or what. It's my girlfriend's been organising it, but we're going to pick you up essentially and go to their house because they're going to try some of it. We get more money the more people that try it, up to 4 people other than us. So we've got nearly the max. So that's what we're going to do. So there's 2 tastings of cider, 2 tastings of gin, and 2 tastings of rum. So me and you will be tasting rum. The girls are going to both be tasting the gin, and there's one of the other girl's boyfriend's going to taste one of the ciders. So surely that's it. All sounds way too good to be true.
It does. I'm like, there's something fucking up here, There's something up with this. This is poisoned.
I've already kind of done one of these things, and even I think, nah, come on. Come on, though.
Yeah, what's happening?
But look, it's happening Friday evening, so we record these on Wednesdays, so Next podcast, if one of us survives, we'll let you know whether any of it was poisoned. If it's only the rum that's poisoned and it's some sort of weird Squid Game, then I'll get my girlfriend to, just hop on stream, hop on a podcast, just do a quick one and let you all know. Because I know that'd be it'd be for the content. You wouldn't want to be like, oh no, they're dead. It'd be like, oh, I wonder how the rum tasted. She'd let you know. She'd let you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. That's that. There's more other stuff to come, but we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into this. Judd is gonna tell us his top 5 favorite Warhammer characters, not models, because we went with characters. Characters and models. Obviously, most Warhammer characters will have models. I'm guessing.
Yeah, but there's one guy on this list that doesn't have a model. He did have a model a long time ago. I'm pretty sure he was on some sort of a pimp chariot and he had naked slave women next to him.
Nice.
GW was obviously moved away from that sort of image because it's not the 90s anymore. But he's not got a model. God damn it! Goddamn feminists can't let us have any.
Well, I mean, just do you know the way to resolve that? Just have a lady character with man slaves. That's also fucking up. I want both of those. Come on. Yeah. Give us both. What's going wrong with you?
I want the manslave to be specifically modelled after me. I want it to be. Jesus. Never mind. Right. Are we ready? Are we going for it?
Yeah. Go on. What's the name of contender number 1?
Okay. So I just wanted to say really quick before I get into this. I set myself a rule of every character has to be from a different faction. I can't have.
It's not a true list then. These aren't actually your top 5 favourite characters, are they?
Well, no, kinda. I mean, I do really like all of these. My number 1's definitely I'd say. In fact, this is a pretty definitive list, I'd say.
Look, what I would say about that rule is, that is a good rule. But everyone apart from autisms like me, because now I know that this isn't actually your top 5 favourite Warhammer characters. These are your top 5 favourite Warhammer characters that have to be from different factions. Those are probably different lists, you see. Well, it might not be, but,
The thing is as well, though, it's interchangeable, because the ones that I do like that would be from, the same factions, are kind of on level with stuff that's already from this list, so it don't matter. It really don't matter.
Do you have any honourable mentions before?
Yeah, I mean, I could say them, but you wouldn't know who that.
Yeah, just rattle off a few in case anyone knows about any of this.
I guess this the Silent King, who is the ruler of all the Necrons, who are kind of Terminator robots. Argel Tal, who is one of the captains of the Word Bearer Legions. He's pretty awesome. He's super edgy. He shares his body with a demon.
Nice.
Who else is there? Urian Rakarth, who is probably the most sadistic piece of shit in the entire universe. He's whole goal is to master pain. He sees pain and torture as an art form. He's pretty cool. Khan the Betrayer, he just likes killing, and that's
straight up killing. He's a bit like what's the Crumbopulous Michael from everyone's favorite Rick and Morty.
Yeah, everybody's favorite. So yeah, just really quickly, I also wanted because it shows some more diversity of Warhammer, so it gives you a broader scope of things. So. Diversity. This is a very diverse game, this.
That's a joke. Okay. It's a joke. Anyway.
So
number 5. I will pull up pictures of these so I can look at them.
I have that already. I've got art for all of them ready.
Okay, will you send me the art through Facebook rather than Discord?
Through
Facebook.
Makes it
easier for me.
Okay, alright. Give me a second then. Yes. Okay,
meanwhile, audio-only listeners are like, that one Mike Wazowski meme. I'm going to pull up images of these characters, then that one, the white. Okay.
I tell you what, when I say the names of them, you just Google it on your phone, and then you can also look at pictures of them. There you go.
What, to the audio-only listeners? That's who you were talking to. What if they're at the gym or something? Anyway, never mind. Fucking carry on. Just tell me what these characters are.
I'm going right. Okay. So in the 5th place is a creature known as the Swarmlord.
The Swarmlord. What a creative name that is.
Yes. I'll post you.
Thing that's got like a bazillion characters and literally infinite names and languages it could pick from. And they went with the Swarmlord.
Well, the reason...
I'm already not impressed, Judd. He's not even a swarm. This character isn't even
let me
one
tell you.
swarm.
Well, shut up and let me tell you about him. So, essentially, the Swarmlord is a tyrannid, and tyrannids are bugs. They're bugs that like to eat shit. They show up to planets, and they consume everything on the planet. They absorb, like, all of its biomass. They use that biomass to make more tyrannids, and I'm
pretty sure that when we went to Warhammer World, the biggest diorama was these fighting the Space Marines. I'm pretty sure.
No, the biggest one was that whole room thing where it's the entire room, and that was Space Marines fighting Chaos. Oh. No, they were Chaos dudes, but so essentially, they're like bugs. You've got the little bugs that are like Tormagants and Hermagants, and they are sort of just like mindless bugs. That sort of know, like, kill things, eat things. Like that's how their brain works. They're like animals.
And you know when you say they're like bugs, do you know what that makes me think of? Men in Black. You know the one Men in Black, the first Men in Black episode, where it's like that guy, you know, that guy who's wandering around, he's like got a bug in him, and then like at the end when they fight him, it's like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Do you know what? Just a little bit of random
like this.
yeah. Did you know what? A little bit of cool trivia that I didn't even realize. The guy who plays that guy, the guy who plays that bug guy from Men in Black, plays Kingpin in Daredevil and the Marvel Cinematic Universe now.
Oh shit!
You've not seen Daredevil, but like,
I'm not seeing it.
Kingpin is fucking the Kingpin is a brilliant casting in that. Anyway, tell us more about this Swarmlord.
Anyway, so
he uses one of those Uruk-hai swords that they have in Lord of the Rings, but he's pink.
Yes, and he's got 4 of them. He's got 4 arms. He
reminds me of Mr. Tumnus if Mr. Tumnus went mental. You know, Mr. Tumnus went crazy.
Right, okay, I gotta get through this because I'll never fucking get through this. So anyway, you've got the little bugs, you've got fucking literally billions of these little bugs. They'll show up to a planet, they'll show up, start eating shit, going ree and being bugs. You know what the concept of like a hive mind is, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so essentially it's millions of organisms sharing a collective consciousness. And that's what tyrannids are. They all share a hive mind. But the littler ones aren't really getting a whole lot of that hive mind because the tyrannids have shown up in our galaxy from another galaxy, or maybe a couple galaxies away. Like, they are travelers to this galaxy. So wherever the hive mind is fucking a long way away. So the little bugs can't really pick up on the hive mind a lot. However, the bigger tyrannids that you get, the sort of better connection they have to the hive mind, and they can gift that to the little bugs. So when the Swarmlord shows up, he is essentially a manifestation of the hive mind. So he's not a mindless bug that just knows kill and eat. He's very fucking smart.
You're telling me he doesn't speak like this and is angry at the Man in Black?
No, he doesn't do that. I do. He might talk like that, though. he might talk like that. But, so he's like, he thinks he, like, can coordinate, like, vast armies. And because he can, like, give that to these littler bugs, these little bugs turn from animals to fucking like spec ops units. Like, they understand tactics. They know how shit works. They'll be like, oh, I know now that I need to target this position. I need to go and do this thing, because they've got this big bug near them that connects them to the hive mind. A cool thing about the tyrannids and specifically the Swarmlord is, if the Swarmlord dies, it doesn't really matter. Like that, like the Swarmlord's not just gone forever, because the Tyranids take biomass and they use it to make more Tyranids. Essentially, what they'll do on just another war is they'll go, right, the Swarmlord's dead. I know how to make another Swarmlord, so I'll just take some biomass and make another Swarmlord. So if you kill this guy, well, that's the thing of it. It's like it's the idea of this sort of like unending tide of bugs.
I don't think the Men in Black could deal with that. I don't know about that one.
I don't know. I think, was it Will Smith? Will Smith
and Tommy Lee Jones. It's not Tommy Lee Jones, but whatever. Tommy Lee Jones is the one who did the sex tape with Pamela Anderson.
Tommy Lee Jones and Pamela Anderson.
No, Tommy Lee Jones. No, I did get it right. Tommy Lee Jones is the actor who plays Agent K. It's Tommy Lee who.
I never would have got that.
Imagine if history had accidentally mixed up those two guys. It's just Agent K going to town on Pamela Anderson. Fuck. Okay. Anyway,
so I've not got a whole lot to say about the Swarmlord because unlike everybody else on this list, he doesn't really have a personality because he's a bug.
I was going to say, when you say the Swarmlord, is there only one of these then? Because to me that sounds like a type of unit, like a type of infantry rather than a character, like, because from what I can tell in Warhammer, there's obviously like a bit like in Star Wars, how there's Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is a character, then there's Jedi, and then there's clone troopers, like like unnamed. So Swarmlord sounds to me like I don't get it.
So I've never heard of like two Swarmlords being in the same place. Tabletop wise, you literally can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. You're only allowed to take one Swarmlord because he's counted as a named character.
What
and like you say, you can only,
though?
You can't use two at the same time.
Well,
fuck you.
I mean, what is it, like a war crime? Is it like not allowed by the Geneva Convention or something?
It is. You'll be taken out back, and you'll get shot in the back of your head.
And that like specky, like gross, feeble nerd who looks like he's about to drop dead anyway. You know when he says, "You're not allowed to do that," and I go, "Well, I've done it. So what the fuck are you gonna do about it?"
Yeah. You say, "Yeah, well, I've got a girlfriend," and he goes, "Oh."
And then I just whack all these models off the desk and go, "I win." What's he going to do about that then?
That's how you do it. I'm in a tournament this Sunday. I'm just going to try that.
Just do that. Do that. Flop your dick on the table. And then just like hold your middle fingers up at everyone and go, "And what now? What are you all going to do about that?"
It's just all turn to me. I'm just like, "What up? What up? What are you going to do?"
I'm going to play my sperm snake, my giant sperm snake. You whack your cock on the table and go, "Billion points, I win." That's how it works, right?
Yeah,
you get points. That's like tennis.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like lore-wise, story-wise, I don't see a reason why there couldn't be multiple Swarmlords because, like I say, they take biomass and they just make another. So I personally don't see why there can't be like multiple of this guy, but the stories that we've seen of him and like tabletop wise, there is only ever one Swarmlord. So I wanted to include this guy because he's a big scary bug, and big scary bugs are just cool. So
fair enough.
That's my number.
I thought we were going to come out with some like a list of like straight up 5 big like world eaters. To be honest.
No. These
little subtle ones start off. That's all right.
Yeah. They get better. I use a big bug. He's cool. He's a cool big bug.
Fair enough.
All right.
Before you get into the next one, I do want to mention it's going to be a long podcast. This one, bear in mind, we've gone 25 minutes and he's done one of these, and we've got stuff between. But just bear with it. There's plenty of content. You don't have to listen to it all in one go. It's like it's like getting multiple podcasts in one podcast. Just it's fine.
And look at it this way: for how many viewers do we have on average? Is it like 7 or some shit?
I don't know. What on an average podcast? Let's have a look.
Well, regular listeners. I mean, not on average. Regular
according
listeners.
to our data, we have an audience size. I think the term is of. Hurry up and load, you stupid site. 4.
Right, okay. So for the whole one of you that prefers me over Jake, this is going to be the most I talk on any podcast.
I don't know. One of you, that's a stretch. I think if I did a podcast on my own, I don't know. Do you know what the best response we ever get to whenever we publish anything, genuinely? If there's a girl in it. Like, I'm not joking. That's the best response. It's very kind of Twitch typical. If we ever do something and there's a girl around, they're like, "Oh, you're my favorite." Anyway.
God damn.
So anyway, next one then, Judd. What's your number 4?
Oh, okay, all right. Now we're getting into some cool shit. Number 4 is the absolute fucking mad lad himself, Gaskell Mag Uruk Fraka.
Now
I'll send you.
Yeah, now we're getting into some real Warhammer type shit.
Yeah, I'll send you. So when you're saying, "Oh, the Swarmlord," that's a shit name.
you know that name. That's what it sounded like when I had COVID. I was like, no, that was me. That's
you took the piss
Have you picked
last time.
the worst pictures of all time? That's so fucking small.
What's
it called again? I'm gonna try and type the name out.
Gaskell Fraka, Gaskell Mac Uruk Fraka. I'll send you it if you want. And you can just copy it.
I didn't realize it. So I could. Oh wait! Oh no!
What did you get? I want to know what you got.
I just got a bunch of fracking in India.
He did it. Gaskell did it. He was like, "I'm gonna frack India, and you can't stop me, Space Marine."
It's just a bunch of mining for gas in India. Oh god.
There you go. That's how you spell his name. If you wanna just copy that. I'm gonna frack the shit out of it.
It's gonna be great. I'm gonna do so much fracking in India.
I'm gonna turn a huge profit, Space Marine. Right. Okay. So. Right. Okay. I don't need to explain orcs to you, do I? You know what an orc is.
Yeah, I can orc with the best of them. I seen one of them. The green and shit.
Yeah, they're green and shit. You watch Lord of the Rings. Specifically engineered creatures for war, right? That's all you need to know. So, Gaskell started out as like their regular infantry is called boys. They literally just call them the boys.
I like it. It's like that one show that was better in the first season.
When I talk about the orcs, if you think football hooligans, but they're big and green and in space, that's the orcs.
Also, like Barnsley football hooligans.
Yes.
Apart from the space bit, they're big
because they are still big and green.
They're kind of red actually and angry. They're definitely big though. They're very rotund.
Yeah, they are. I can go get my granddad if you want. He's a bouncy. So he started off as like just a regular boy. He was on a planet.
Wait.
One of them.
What? You're not telling me this guy started off as like just a human boy?
No. They're called boys. So like,
oh yeah,
I literally just fucking. So he was, he was like one of the boys. He was a regular orc foot soldier. He was on some fucking planet somewhere doing some war, as orcs tend to do. The thing that orcs love the most is a good fight.
Good old
so he was, So he was off having a good fight. During this fight, he got shot in the fucking head and died.
Ooh.
Okay. While he was dead, quotation marks, he had a vision of the two orc gods that are named Gork and Mork. I'm not kidding, that's their names.
Let me tell you, this is Norse mythology. This is like what's his face? Wait, Thor's sons. Thor's sons, what are they? Modi and Magni. Come on, they're just copying that type of shit. It's like, what? Wait, you're telling me this is a race of like big fuckers who love just going and warring people, and then there's a couple sons that both sound like they've got the same name. And
I've got a special guy at the end of this list just for you.
Nice.
Who I'm going to tell you a little bit about, and then you can bring all that up. But we'll get to that at the end of the list. So anyway. He's been shot. He's fucking dead. He has the vision of the two orc gods, Gork and Mork, and essentially they essentially say to him, Gaskell, you are going to be top shit. You are going to be the absolute lad.
It was dead.
He's having a vision in like the afterlife.
I wasn't listening.
He's like, you are going to be top shit. You are essentially going to go and you're going to unite all of the orc boys, all of the different clans around the galaxy. You're going to get them all together under one big banner, your banner, and then you're just going to fucking fight the entire galaxy, and it's going to be sick as fuck. And then Gaskell woke up from being dead.
I just got better.
He just got better. I'm not kidding. He just got better. So I could go into how like orcs are like actually like fungi and they can suffer like grievous wounds and get back up. But you don't want to know about that.
See,
you want to know about that.
I've when you've told me about characters in Warhammer and things like this and a bunch of stories and stuff, I've thought this sounds actually really fucking cool. I'm not interested in the game at all. I could maybe be interested in painting some cool models, but I wouldn't really want to keep them anywhere. So like, the only bit I could ever get interested in is just the stories. If there were maybe some audiobooks on it. The problem is, I've tried. Now, most people who present Warhammer and get into it is they love all that shit that you're just on about how all the orcs are actually fungus and blah blah.
Yeah.
Fuck off! No,
I know you. I know you don't care.
I
know
you don't
stupid.
Care. Who cares? It's just. It's the thing is, it's not that like who cares. It's not like I don't. I like to have an explanation of why something's happening. It can't just happen. It can't. If it actually was something I cared about, and the thing that happened was, and then he just woke up, like you've just described, that would be annoying. But because I don't care about this, I can find it funny. Now, the thing is, the explanations they choose are so convoluted, and you have to spend so long to try and figure out the understanding of it. And I get that that's the appeal to most people, but to me it's like, oh, fuck off. It's just make it a bit more concise and, like, interesting, and let's move on rather than having to spend 9 hours understanding the anatomy of an orc to know how he might be able to re-come back from a vid. No, I don't care to study 9 hours worth. Look, I love Marvel. I don't care about studying for about 9 hours to know why Spider-Man has Spidey sense. He's got Spidey sense, okay? Spiders have some sort of sense, and he's got it, okay? It doesn't matter that much, you know? So this is what I'm saying. But this is another point. This is why I kind of like you telling me about these things.
Yeah.
Because you present and then you just get up.
Yeah, the thing is, I know that's how you feel about this stuff, so this is how I'm going to present it. And if you know, by some chance we do get some like Warhammer absolute boffin in, like Luton, who you don't know Luton, but that's essentially his job and his life is to know shit about Warhammer. And they're like, but you didn't tell him about the... It's like, no, I didn't, because he doesn't fucking care.
If that's you and you disagree, tweet at Tweets Badly and tell us how mad you are at it, or leave it in the comments of the YouTube video. Give us a big old rant about how much awful Hitlers we are. Oh, I'd love that.
I love that.
Go on then. What did he do after he woke up?
Okay. So he got up, and the first thing he did is went, "Wow, I've got a big hole in my head. I should go see a doctor." So he did, and
that doesn't feel very orc of him.
Well, no, hold on. Whilst he was getting his head fixed, and by head fix, I mean he got a metal plate riveted into his head, because that's how you fix an orc. He was like, also, give me a big cyborg body. And this doctor was like, why should I... Clank. Yeah, this doctor was like, why should I give you a big cyborg body? It was like, 1, I'm going to rule the entire galaxy one day, and 2, I got a lot of money. So,
I thought it was just going to say, because I just fucking told you so stop talking back to me a little bitch.
which also would work in alt culture, because they respect the biggest and the strongest. So essentially this doctor was like, all right, and then he gave him a big cyborg body. And like the Gork and Mork said, Gaskell would go on to unite like vast clans of orcs under his banner. And he is probably one of the biggest threats to the Imperium of Man. He's led... Orcs call like war campaigns. They call them wars. So
Wars.
Yeah,
like
he's led several like massive wars against the Imperium and against various other races, you know, because orcs will fight fucking anything. It's not just humans. They'll fight Eldar, humans, Necrons, other orcs. They fight other orcs a lot.
Yeah. Well,
so,
I mean, we've seen it, haven't we, in Lord of the Rings? Okay, I know it's very different types of orcs. These are like space orcs, obviously.
No,
but
they're not very different.
But
I'd not say they're very different.
There's a lot of similarities. I mean, when all the orcs and Uruk-hai are united under Sauron, that did a lot of fucking bad as well. So, orcs, organised orcs, unorganised orcs, not too bad to deal with, but still pretty threatening. Organised orcs, now you got something on your hands. So.
Yeah, that's the exact concept of orcs in 40k. It's like, if all of them just went, right, you know what? Let's all just be on the same side and just fucking go for it. And they actually really went for it. They'd win. They just win. They'd just win Warhammer. The thing is, they're never going to do that because they're really stubborn and really fucking stupid. So there you go. That's orcs, and that's specifically Gaskell Mac Uruk Fracker. He had his head cut off once. He got better.
I like this guy. He just gets better.
He just gets better because he's fucking sick. He's Gaskell.
Right. And you know what would be hilarious? I would love a genuine kind of story, something like this, that's maybe got models around it, got a lot of merch around it, things like that. And where that's the level of lore. It's like, and then he had his head chopped off, and then like there's another book later, and then he appears like to save the day or like to like fuck up someone's like plan, and then they're like, but I thought you had your head chopped off, and then he was like, but I got better, and that's it.
I got better.
I've kind of doing the entire opposite of what this is, and using that to take the piss out of it, kind of. That'd be good.
I've got a little quote from him if you want that.
Sure, go for it.
I'm Warlord Gaskell Mac Uruk Fracker, and I speak with the word of the gods. I'm the prophet of the war, and all worlds burn in my boot prints. And that's how you have to talk when you're doing it.
He's like Cockney, is he? Why are orcs Cockney?
They just are. Because they're football hooligans in space. And Cockney. As we know, all football
I think they're from Yorkshire. I think they're from the north, Judd. The best football hooligans are from the north. The biggest football hooligan disaster happened in Liverpool. So I think orcs have to have a Scouse accent.
If you want to... Why don't you do a grand's worth of orcs and...
Can you copy and paste that quote to me, and I'll do my impression of what I think you should sound like?
Yeah, can you read it?
I'll do my best. I can't promise anything, but... It's not exactly a novel. I think I can manage a single sentence, right? What's a Scouse accent? How does that sound like? I'm from Liverpool.
Fucking tablet of terror. Fucking tablet of terror.
No, that's Cockney. That's fucking tablet of terror.
It is. So that would actually be an orc. Yeah, okay. Go on then.
Okay, I'm going to do my best Scouse accent. Normally, I would listen to an accent that I would do. I don't think I've ever tried to do a Scouse accent in my life, but I'll do my best. It's going to be bad, but let's go for it.
Yeah.
I'm Warlord Gaskell Mac Uruk Fracker, and I speak with the word of the gods. I'm the prophet of the wag, and whole world burns in my boot prints. How's that? He's lost his shit.
I love Scouse orcs.
That was like a mixture between Scouse and Cockney, like in a weird way. I don't know. I think that works well.
Awesome. I loved that.
Yeah, that should be their accent. I think that works well.
Yeah. Right. Do you want to talk about some shit before we get into the next one?
I have got something to tell you, Judd. Before a small respite before we get into Judd's number 3. So, in the last podcast, I mentioned to you that I'm going on a journey to figure out the meaning of life. So I'm starting off with this audio book. It's 20 hours long. It's 36 lectures on different perspectives on the meaning of life throughout history. And the kind of most prevalent, generally accepted as probably some of the best kind of thoughts upon it. So, I've gotten to... I've listened through the Bhagavad Gita, which is like an ancient Indian kind of Hindu perspective on it. Not too bad, but only a start. is my kind of assessment of that. What they said about it, not too disputable. Could be it. There's, can't say too no to it, but they didn't get too far into it. So, they've not come to a proper conclusion. Then, next, the number 2 kind of text that we looked at in this is some of the big boys, the Greek philosophers, okay? We're talking Plato, we're talking Socrates, but most importantly, the kind of main one we focused on, Aristotle, okay? You heard of him. You love him. He's got a big beard. Yeah. They all got a big beard. They're all old. They're all white. Who fucking cares? They may as well be the same guy. But, they're all the Greek ones. That's when you think of philosopher, that's what you think of in your brain. One of these ancient Greek philosophers, okay? Now, I've now listened to the kind of texts that we've got where he talks about the meaning of life. He was a student of Plato and didn't agree with Plato. Okay, so Plato, big famous philosopher, he was a student of him, didn't really agree with him, and then Aristotle went on to a big famous philosopher himself. Aristotle had a son who sat in all of his lectures when he talked to people and told them all of his kind of big thoughts and things like that. And Aristotle's son wrote down a lot of notes about what his, famous philosopher dad said. And that's what we get this from. So, I've listened to all of that. I've given it my fair assessment. Bear in mind, I quite liked the Indian philosophy on it. I'm not just accepting everything or denying anything. And what I can tell you conclusively is Aristotle was a moron. Fucking idiot. What? Oh my God. He sounds like an absolute petulant child when he talks about all of his philosophies on this. For starters, one of the things he says is, young people shouldn't even bother trying to work out something as important as the meaning of life. What are fucking young people? That was his attitude towards it. And I'm like, fuck you then. Fuck you. Because his whole point was that you can't understand something unless you've experienced it. Carl Pilkington meme, bullshit, okay? That's not true at all. I am pretty sure we have biologists and scientists that understand the anatomy of a cricket more than a cricket understands its own anatomy. Do you know what I'm saying? That's not how anything works. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that this inanimate plastic object that I'm holding up right now doesn't understand what it is as much as I do. Never mind, actually, even it can't even think in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It's so bullshit. You don't have to have experienced something to be able to understand it better than someone or something has experienced it itself. That's just straight up wrong. So already, the fact that he said that makes me think, I don't know about you, mate. I don't know about your ideas. They seem pretty shit already. Then, another thing that he says, right? There's 2 main cruxes of his argument. He says 2 things. Firstly, whether something's good or not is more of a practical thing rather than a moral or a kind of spiritual thing. Okay, so an example that he gives is if a knife can cut well, it is a good knife. Okay, so because knives are supposed to be for cutting, if it cuts well, that's a good knife.
Okay. Now,
the thing is, the way he determines that is all fucked. So he says. And also, that's not even necessarily correct too. You have to know whether the way you know if the purpose of a thing. How do I explain this? So, and you've got a knife, and to know that determining whether that's good or not is to do with cutting. You have to look at an already good example of a knife. So he's saying that if you have an object, you want to know whether that object's good or not. You have to look at a version that you know is good and see what it's good at. Okay? Are you following with that?
Yeah.
And then whatever that's really good at, that's the purpose of that thing. And the one that you've got, if that's also good at it, it's also a good thing. Yeah? Are we following this? Yes. Are you just saying yes to appease me?
No, I mean it's essentially if the thing is good at the thing it's supposed to be, then it's a good thing.
No. There's another important point to that, as in you can only know what it's supposed to be good at if you look at a version of that that's already renowned as good. Okay. So if you've got a knife and you're like, right, I want to know whether my knife is good or not. To know that, I have to know what it's for. Okay? Pretend you don't even know what knife's for. So then you go, well, I know that other knife is a good knife, and it's for cutting, and it's good at that.
Okay.
So it's like, so that means my knife is for cutting. Is my knife good at that? Yes, mine's also good. Do you see what I'm saying there?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. The thing is, that other knife that's good at cutting, how do we know that one's for cutting? Because surely, to know whether that's good or not, we have to compare that one to another one that's good. So how do we know that one's good? And then if we know that one's good, how do we compare to another one? So you can't do it.
It's also like if somebody had a knife and they were using it as like, they were using it to like dig stuff up, like they were stabbing it into the ground and then like flinging it upwards.
A bit like a trowel.
Like
they were using a knife like that. Yeah.
Like they were using a knife like a trowel. If you didn't know what a knife was and then you saw someone doing that, and then you did it with yours and it worked, you go, yes, this is a good knife.
Yeah, this does that well. It must be for that. It doesn't work. So it's like, that doesn't fucking work. That philosophy is so flawed in many, many ways that already I'm like, you are not trustworthy to be telling me about what the meaning of life is. Yeah. You're even just one of your tiny supplementary, even one of your little ideas that's supposed to feed into what the meaning of life is completely wrong. And also, there's another context. Another one he uses was musicians. The context depends on things as well. If you are at an audition for the technical ability of a violinist, okay? You've got a good violinist and a bad violinist. So by a good violinist, they can... So violinist A and violinist B. Violinist A can hit the notes perfectly, perfect pitch. They can transition between notes very quickly. They can read music very well. They're very precise, all of that sort of junk. Violinist B, they don't really know what they're doing. It sounds kind of funky, kind of weird, kind of like, what? Laughable a bit, So in the context of a musical technicality audition, musician A is a good musician, okay? Because they can do all that. That's the character. If you're at a comedy night where the purpose is to make people laugh, what's going to make you laugh more? Someone who's going, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. Or someone who's going, do you see what I'm saying? So, does that mean that B is still a bad musician? Or are they actually a good musician? Because the purpose in that context is different. Or is the concept of being good or bad at something fluid? Because that could also be true, and that's a lot more likely to be true in that you can be good at some points depending on context, you can be bad at some points depending on context, while you're still doing the exact same thing. But Aristotle does not say that. Aristotle's theory completely ignores that can be the case. So this is part of what I'm saying. It's fucked, right? Also, another thing is there's always a hierarchy of... It's not a hierarchy of needs, because I think that's Maslow, who was another philosopher. Hierarchy of needs is something different. Still kind of flawed, I believe, but a little bit better because it's more modern philosophy. But Aristotle suggests a hierarchy of purpose. So, an example he gives is kind of ancient horses. So, back in those ancient Greek times, you would put a shoe on a horse to make it go faster. You would make your horse go faster so that the military wants it more.
Yes.
The military wants it more so that they will do better in wars. The military needs to do better in wars so that you can own more land and people.
I've heard this one before. Did you tell me this one like last time? Because I have heard this one before.
No, I don't think so.
I've heard this one before from somewhere.
Well, this is the thing. So he suggests that it keeps going up and up and up, and right at the top of this pyramid, that's the meaning of life. So something that you have that is never for anything else, okay? Now, a bunch of other Greek philosophers have come to this conclusion. I'm pretty sure Plato must have come to this as well. And it's not necessarily a bad idea, apart from the fact that it is, and I will explain that later. But I want to just go with this for a second. There's been a bunch of other ones that suggested what the top of that pyramid might be. It might be honour. It might be wealth. It might be pleasure. Those are some of the three top ones. There's a few other ones. But Aristotle in one of his few good moments, disputes these very easily and well. In the wealth, well, what's the point in having money if you've got nothing to spend it on? You know, you have money so that you can buy things. Okay, so that already wealth funnels into something else. Honor. Well, what's the point in honor if the person that's honoring you is a complete shitbag themselves? Then your honor's no good. So honor, it's not so good either. Also, what's the point in being an honorable person if nothing else? You know. Then pleasure. What's the point? I can't remember the one for pleasure. It's a little bit more complicated. It was good. Okay, pleasure's not the one. Put it that way. I could go into. I'm not gonna. It takes a bit longer to explain that one. We're already nearly an hour long. Put it this way. So Aristotle's idea was that the top of it is happiness. And as soon as I heard the lecturer say that was his idea, I went, oh, for fuck's sake. I'm like, come on. What a stupid I'm 14 and I'm deep type of quote that is. Oh, the purpose of life, it's just happiness. It's just being happy. Fuck off. You know? Come on.
Maybe the true meaning of life was the friends we made along the
Exactly.
way. Nice.
Now, the flaw in this is...
One, dude.
So... The way that he kind of explains it is like there's this kind of way to determine whether it's a be-all and end-all. So an example is you would say, oh, yeah, that guy's rich, but is he happy? Or, yeah, that guy knows a lot, but is he happy? Or like, I don't know, yeah, that guy's pleasured, but is he actually happy? And now that's why Aristotle thinks that happiness is a be-all and end-all, because it's like, yeah, you've got all that, but... So that's kind of the whole kind of phrase that he uses to determine it. Now, he says, you know, that doesn't happen with happiness. Well, I've got one here for you. Yeah, that guy's happy, but are all his loved ones happy? You know, yeah, that guy's happy, but is everyone else in his country dying and suffering? You know, so is it your own personal happiness? Is it other people's happiness? Because those are separate things. Those aren't completely tied. You can make everyone else happy and you would be completely miserable. You can make yourself as happy as possible and everyone else would be fucking dying and they'd be awful. So, like...
Well, listen, you could be a serial rapist paedophile and you could be going around raping children all your entire life and you're lying on your deathbed and you know you've never been caught for it and you're happy because you've never been caught for it. Is that the meaning of life? Are you happy because you raped children?
Now,
you know,
what I understand is that, in theory, maybe. Because who gives a fuck? I mean, when I was searching for this meaning of life, the whole point is the meaning of your own genuine personal life. Now, if it's your own personal happiness, then, you know, you might think we're getting somewhere closer, but we're not. It's still fucking flawed because humans don't know when they're happy. They don't know. They can't do it. It doesn't work. Are you happy, Judd? Are you?
Oh, God, I can't remember the last time I was fucking happy, to be honest.
Were you, though? Were you happy? Can you tell me specifically why you tell me definitely that you were happy? Can you 100% tell me that you've ever been happy? Can you do that and prove it? I'll answer for you. No, you can't, because no one can. It's impossible. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. It can't be happiness. Because we can never know if we're happy. We can never know what type of happiness would be the right one, whether it's personal or anything like that. It doesn't fucking work, Aristotle, okay? So stop patronising me and telling me that young people can't fucking work this out when I've just disproved you old cunt, you know? Plus, your whole hierarchy thing doesn't fucking work because what that actually suggests is that everything's a cycle rather than a hierarchy. Let me put the horse argument to you again, right? Think about this, Judd. You shoe a horse to make it faster so the military can use it to win a war so you can get more land, so that you can get more horses to put more shoes on them so you can win more. Yeah. It's a cycle! Ah! Yeah. So what I'm telling you is, Aristotle, complete moron, don't listen to a word he says.
Was he the one that also said that...
although, probably bisexual, now that's not a bad idea. You know, just fuck everyone. Who cares about where they got cocks over there? Just fuck everyone. Doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, I do that one. So, but was Aristotle the one that's described humans as fetherless bipeds And there was that one philosopher who he literally had nothing. He like lived in a box like on the street because that was like his way of
No, you're thinking. This is Stoicism. I don't know what I watched a PewDiePie video on it, actually. I can't remember what the philosopher of Stoicism was, but I believe Stoicism is one of the kind of theories within this meaning of a life thing. And if it's not, it's one that I'm definitely going to get into, because it's one of the kind of, nowadays, kind of looked back on more a bit like, they might have been on something there. So that's one I will look into. And I know the one you mean, though.
Yeah, I know there was some philosopher who essentially a task was put out to all philosophers where they were like, describe what a human is. And one of them was like, Cephalus biped. And there was this one Stoicism philosopher who heard him say this, and he got a chicken, and he ripped out all of its feathers, walked into his class when he was doing a lecture one time, and he shoved it in his face and went, "Is this a human?"
Yeah. Well, Aristotle's idea of what a human is, or what makes things human rather than an animal, is the fact that humans can rationalize things. Now, bullshit, again, because Aristotle himself couldn't fucking rationalise the fact that a young person could be fucking smarter than him, because he can't work out any philosophy himself, because he's a terrible philosopher! I'm an Aristotle hater. Fuck Aristotle, is what I'm saying. All my homies hate Aristotle, am I right?
I was just going to say all my homies hate Aristotle.
Right. Anyway, we're creeping up on an hour, so it's time to end this podcast. I'm lying. We're going to be going for a long while. Judd's got at least 3 more stupid fictional characters to tell us about. It's going to be a long one. Right, this is going to be. Look, I'm going to claim it right now. This is going to be the longest podcast we've done. You're welcome, by the way. If you like this podcast, you're welcome. Listen to it all. Fucking come on, give us that fucking view time money that we don't earn. We don't get any money from this podcast.
No.
So come on, we don't earn anything from this. At least listen to it. Come on, please. I'm crying. Please. Really, I actually am.
I don't mind. I could just talk about Warhammer to myself for like 3 hours.
Come on, let's go. I need to drink more fucking rum. Go.
Right, okay. In third spot is Commissar Sebastian Yarrick, and I will link his name. I will send his name to you so that you can look it up.
Do you know immediately what comes to mind with that? I'm thinking Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. You know the whole guy who's after Jack Sparrow? You know that kind of whole thing?
Yeah. Wait, no, are you talking about the Spanish guy?
No, he's British, so he's like
okay.
The number 2. He's like, that's the best pirate I've ever seen, or something like, oh, that's the worst pirate. Something, he says something.
No,
like that.
Yeah. No, I know who you're talking about. I thought you were talking about the last one where he says Jack Sparrow, like Jack Sparrow, like that.
No, you're thinking of much later.
Yeah,
movie.
I'm thinking of the last one. I'm thinking of the last Pirates of the Caribbean that came out. No, I know who you mean. It's I know who you mean. No. Sebastian Yarrick's a lad. He's
is he like a mad lad?
Yeah, he's a mad lad. He's an absolute mad lad. Absolute mad lad, Sebastian Yarrick. So Sebastian Yarrick is a commissar, and what a commissar is they're a human.
Judd,
they're part of...
He's got the same robot hand as the last guy.
Well, we'll get onto that. So...
Okay. Judd.
Yeah.
Is pissed. I'm sorry. I was gonna say a funny meme. Sorry. I was gonna say this guy's got a really thick pistol, and I thought that was funny. I was gonna say something stupid about it.
Okay.
But
the reason.
Bear with me.
What? Get it out.
I'm gonna whisper it. As I was about to say that, I've heard some sort of chav outside my window say, "You fucking scat." Really loud.
It was Yarrick. That he's outside your window, right?
It was just. The thing is, I think they're on their own. I didn't hear anyone reply. I just heard them.
To himself. He looked in a mirror. It's like it's been raining out and there's a big puddle on the floor, and he's like looked at his own reflection in the rainwater, and he's gone, "You fucking scat."
See, sometimes I'm Sometimes I'm a bit disappointed that I did a music production degree because I've tuned this microphone to sound as good as I think it will sound. So it doesn't pick up background noise. We watched an episode of Smiling Friends in the last stream that we did for this. It was coming out of speakers, so it was out loud and the microphone didn't pick it up, but it did pick up our voices. That's how well I filtered this microphone. So I know that noise from outside won't have picked up on the microphone, and that severely disappoints me. Anyway, thanks for blessing us with that, Mr. Yarrick, or whatever his name is.
So, Sebastian Yarrick is a commissar, and a commissar is like a member of the regular human military, the Imperial Guard. So they're not like augmented.
Breaking news. Shut up. I can hear the slag replying. She's shouting
What's she
at him.
saying? Yeah, go on. No, I'm invested now. I'm invested there.
I weren't even there. A door has been slammed. I think the argument's over. I don't know. I don't even fucking know what's going on.
Oh my god!
I think they're arguing over where.
Go in the house. Go in the house, like, and hold a microphone up to him. Break and enter into the house.
I don't know where it is. I don't know what's going on.
Oh well.
Carry on. Just tell us about this. We're ignoring him now. We're ignoring. I'll try and update. If I hear anything else, I'll update you next time.
So. He's part of the commissars are part of the regular human military, so we're not talking like space marines, we're not talking super soldiers. We're talking about me and you. Give us like some sort of shitty armor and a laser gun. That's the Imperial Guard.
Dude, these guys are Nazis, aren't they?
Kinda, yeah. They're not racist against other humans. They're specifically racist against things that aren't human. So
because that's better.
Yeah.
Is it?
That is better.
That's a debate we could have on at Tweets Badly. Tweet us at Tweets Badly whether you think it's racist to think aliens are an inferior, horrible race.
Yeah. So essentially, a commissar's job in the Imperial Guard is they're not commanders. They're more like morale support. And when I say morale support, I mean it's not like, come on, men, tally-ho, we'll go fight the foe and we'll conquer this world in the name of the Imperium of Man. It's more like
whips and chains type kind of guy. No, that's BDSM. More like an Egyptian type of whip, like.
Yeah. They're more like, you will stand here.
I've got an update, Judd. A car alarm is now going off. I feel like one of them's tried to, key their car or something. One of these, you slag.
Oh my god.
The car alarm's gone off. Really? I don't know.
A car alarm has gone off, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you know what these chavs outside my window need? My window's open, so I can't see that loud. They need an Imperial Guard commissar to come and get them in line, is what I'm saying. Am I right?
They need Yarrick. So yeah, what?
Oh fuck!
What? Go. What?
Wait, 1 sec. Someone a lot closer to my window has just gone. Oi, get away! Oh fuck! Are they
fighting? Is there an actual brawl happening outside your bedroom window right now?
I'm gonna have to whisper. I'm whispering. I think it's just someone next door telling off a dog, but it scared the shit out of me. And they're probably still
That's not. Though. God damn it! God. See, dogs are even ruining drama now.
They are. They're the worst.
We had a whole thing going on there.
I don't like dogs. Anyway.
God damn it.
Fucking hell. I know I'm interrupting this about this guy so much. I've not even listened to a single thing you've said about him.
I wanna know what's happening next door.
I know, it's so intriguing. Come on, we're committing now. Right. Unless something really interesting happens, I'm listening to whatever this guy's about.
Okay, alright, so commissars are morale boosters, but not in the sense that they whip up the soldiers. It's more like, you're gonna stand here, you're gonna hold this line, you're gonna shoot the enemy. If you try to run away, I will shoot you in your fucking head. It's essentially what a commissar does. So, as they do, Imperial Guards will stand and hold the line, or they will get shot in the fucking head, and it tends to boost morale. Yarrick wasn't really like that. He was much more of a know your enemy type of guy. So he'd research into aliens, specifically orcs. He was he had quite a fascination with orcs. And he was I want to know how to make them tick. What makes them tick? Because if I know what
I want to know how to make them.
I want to know how to make them tick.
You put a bomb in them, I think, is probably how you would do that.
But he was like, if I know what they're about, I can fight them better. So he was on this planet, and essentially the orcs were coming. A big war was coming to this planet.
That means war.
That means war. And he was essentially in this room we a bunch of like other commanders and stuff, and it was either like the planetary governor or like the regional commander, the head honcho, essentially. He was like saying all of this. It's like, yes, you shall defend here and you shall hold this position. And Yarrick was like, actually, excuse me, sir, I think we should do this, and this. This is what I found to be the most effective way to combat the orcs. And this guy, this head honcho, essentially looked at him and went, "Fuck you!" And he sent him to defend. He essentially sent him to defend bumfuck nowhere that was very obviously going to be overrun by orcs, because it was like it was called Hive Hades. He was sent to defend Hive Hades.
I mean, that sounds like a very dangerous place.
Yeah, it essentially, it didn't have a lot in the way of like defenses. It was mainly just a bunch of farmers and like people who just worked regular jobs. So he was sent to die, essentially, Yarrick. So the orcs came. They fucking started doing orc shit and started like wrecking everything. Yarrick, essentially what Yarrick did was, because he was given like a platoon of guard, but he was like, there's no way I'm going to fucking fight the orcs with this. He essentially rallied all of these farmers and all these workers and stuff, and he was like, fucking come and fight with us.
He made a feud. He made a feud. Yeah. That's what the Vikings called it. You gather a bunch of peasants, you go, hey, use your pitchfork and stab that fucker for your country because he's a dickhead, him. And they weren't. They were just like actually a nice guy, but you wanted his land. You made a peasant stab him so that you didn't have to, and then you take the land that the peasant had.
Well, he didn't do necessarily. He wasn't necessarily like that. He was like, well, the land was already his. He was defending it. He was like,
nah. He made a feud. He was being a Viking, okay.
He was being a Viking. He made his feud. So essentially, it was like, fucking everybody rise up and fight these orcs with us. And
fight these other peasants with us. We want their land.
Yeah. so they did, and it started to work. It started to work. It didn't fully work.
Story of my life.
Yeah, there was one big fight, and essentially Yarrick got into a close combat fight with this big orc guy. He wasn't like the main orc guy, but he was a big orc guy, and this orc hacked off one of Yarrick's arms. So nice. As Yarrick,
was it the last orc guy we were talking about?
No, we will get to that. So Yarrick's sort of on his knees, and this orc's giving it all like, "This is your champion. I'm bigger and harder than him."
Scouse accent, Judd. Scouse accent.
Oh, do it then.
No, that's about right. I don't think the word "hahe" is different in many different accents, actually.
So essentially,
hahe, like hahe, man. That's Newcastle, though. It's not. It's the wrong Scouse.
as this orc was giving it all that, Yarrick was like, "Fuck this dude," and hacked off this orc's arm, and then hacked off his head, and then just started hacking him while he was down, so he wouldn't get back up. Because as we know, orcs have a tendency to just get back up.
You need to burn them. Fire. I bet fire's the answer.
Actually, you are right. Fire is a very good option against orcs. It's very effective at killing orcs.
Fire in this universe is very useful. Like, because I'm thinking bugs that kind of reproduce on their matter, things like that. Burning all the matter to a crisp, so there's no atoms left. That's how you kill like a Deadpool or a Wolverine. I know about them. I've seen a Marvel comic or two. I've got one. I own a comic. So that's how they normally win in those things. I reckon that's how you win in that universe. You're about.
And you're right. And in that case, you might like the Sisters of Battle because they fucking love using fire weapons.
Oh, I don't having to use fire. That's not wouldn't be my preference.
Okay,
but fair enough. I think that's how you would have to do it.
Yeah, they like using fire. But anyway, you are right. So essentially, he's killed this big orc guy. They managed to sort of fight away because he just killed the big orc guy that was leading this sort of like little group of orcs that attacked this place. He took this orc's power claw, which is like a big sort of just claw, like a mechanical claw. He took it to a medic and he said, "Give me this. I want it. Get out. Replace my stump arm with this thing." And
I didn't realize you had to have your own arm taken off to put that. I thought he was like actually just using it. I thought he was holding it and using it, and was like, "Give me this," and then the mate's like, "You've already got it."
No, it was because the orc had hacked off his arm. So he then took this power claw thing to a medic and it was like, "Fucking attach this onto me. I want it." And the medic was like, "All right, bit fucking weird, but okay." So he did. And Yarrick understood, because Yarrick understood orcs. Orcs have like a power of belief where if enough of them believe in something, it almost in a sense wills it into existence. It's nothing crazy. They can't like just be like, "Oh, well, orcs, all orcs."
You see, I liked orcs before you told me about this. They've got an element of being a hippie that manifests things.
No.
Tells me, "Oh, I manifested it."
No, it's not like that. It's not like that. It's not.
I'm convinced.
It's not like that. It's not like that. Shut up, you retard. It's not like that. I'll not get into the semantics of it because I know you don't care. But essentially, Yarrick was like, "Well, I can use this against them." So he became this sort of like mythic figure to the orcs. He was like, he was sending spies out. It was like, "I want you to listen into what the orcs are saying about me and report it back so I can become this mythic figure." And
there's
so
many
he'd hear
dogs
shit
going
like
crazy outside now.
I can't.
And
I can't
a woman
hear it.
shouting.
Is it anything juicy? Do we need to stop?
I cannot tell what's being said. It's mostly dogs drowning. They've stopped now, but mostly dogs drowning. I don't know.
So one of these rumors that it heard, like that they'd heard the orcs saying, was, "Watch out for that Yarrick guy. It can kill you just by looking at you." So Yarrick was like, "Fucking sick, right?" Went back to this medic guy who was like, "Scoop out my eyeball."
The fucking laser beam eye. I see it now.
Yeah. It was like, "Scoop out one of my eyes, replace it with a laser."
This guy's my favourite so far out of the ones you said.
And immediately this medic guy was like, "All right, fucking sound." So he gave him a laser eye. Next big battle with the orcs that happened. This orc's charging towards him, looks at him, blows him up essentially. All of these other orcs that were charging stop, look at the blown up orc, look back at Yarrick, and just fucking run away.
I like it. I like that he's like smart and like genuinely wanting to like just practically do shit, you know, rather than being a like, I don't know, a pompous spaz like a lot of things in these sorts of scenarios have.
Yeah. So essentially, this fight keeps happening, this war, and he finds out who's leading this war, and it's an orc by the name of Gaskell Mac Uruk Fracker. He's
last
back.
Guy we had.
Yeah. So he went he went to fight Gaskell. Essentially, he lost. But Gaskell was like, "I'm not gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna put him to work on one of my ships as like a slave."
Bad idea.
Because
very bad idea. Just kill him. He's obviously gonna fight you again. Why did they do that?
well, wait. Again, wait. We'll get to it. So he puts him to work on his ship, and like you say, because he's really good at rallying people, he rallies all the other human slaves on the ship, and they fucking start taking it over. They start taking it over. They don't take it over, because there's a lot of orcs, and they've essentially just got like prison shanks to fight them with. So I believe he made his way to like the main control deck, and he was like about to blow up the ship, but he got stopped. And Gaskell had him, and he was like, "Right, here's what I'm going to do with you, Yarrick." And he took Yarrick, and he gave him all of his equipment back, and he gave him a stolen human vessel, and he was like, "Get on and leave." just leave. And Yarrick was like, why? What the fuck are you doing? What's up? And Gaskell says, there is nothing more that orcs love than a good fight. And you put up a fucking great fight, and I want to fight you again. So go on, get on your merry way, rally an army.
That's made me like that orc less. Right, I get. No, listen here, I'll tell you why. I get why he's done that. He's still an orc. You know, orcs, the impression I get, they're not the very smartest, but it's not a great way to fight that guy over and over, is it? It's not a great way to milk him for his fighting abilities, is it? What you need to do is...
It is.
No, it's not. I'm telling you why. What you need to do is, you need to build this dude an arena. Okay? You need some sort of vast... Listen, I know you're shaking your head. Bear with me. He needs a vast arena, okay? You say to him, look, listen here, Yarrick. Go off and build an army and bring it to this arena. And if you beat me in a big old brawl with army to army, mono army, then, you know, you get a bunch of shit. You know, you get all my planets and shit, whatever this guy owns, I don't really know. But instead he just goes, yeah, just be free. You can't control the fight that way. You can't control the fact. You can't make him fight you more if you just let him go off and do what he wants. Whereas if you keep him as a big old slave boy, but let him gather an army still, keep control of him, but let him go... You know, ring him up on a space phone. Do they have phones in this universe? Ring some people up with a space phone. You know, come fight. So Yarrick, this is Yarrick. I need you to fight for me, right? Look, right, mate. You ever seen netball on like that? You've been up at like 1 a.m. and seen netball on one of those like American channels? You know, they like gather. We need a team.
Am I in this situation? You're acting like I need to respond. Am I Gaskell?
No, you're the netball. I'm trying to recruit you.
I'm the netball.
Yeah, just get your hand. You know where that I do the thing with the hand and it looks like a phone.
Yeah,
wait, have you got your phone? Have you got your phone? Put it to you.
I'm on my space phone.
Put your actual phone to you. Put your phone to you.
No, it's upstairs charging.
Oh, just use your hand then. Phone. We'll use hands. I'm Yarrick. Okay, what does Yarrick? I bet he's got a posh son voice. Excuse me, old boy. I need some. Have you ever seen? You using? I'm Boris Johnson actually right now. Have you seen netball at 3 a.m.? You seen it on the Olympics?
Yarrick, my ship is literally made out of shit and scrap. Yes, I don't even know what a netball is.
It runs. It runs. Okay, so I need you to come to this. Just come to this planet, okay?
All right.
We need a good old romp against these green fellows. And
all right.
We'll win it. It's a little bit much like the Falklands, okay? And then we get his fucking planets. Yes? You know, so that's what Yarrick needs to do, okay? And that's what the orc needs to make him do, is what I'm saying.
Well, it was kind of like that. There was no big arena. He wasn't, like, promising anything. It's just... Orcs, their only thing... They wouldn't think that far ahead because, like I say, they're very fucking stupid.
I mean, this is what I'm saying, though. I understand, and that makes sense, and that's what should have happened. Don't get me wrong. But it makes me like that orc character less personally. That's what I'm saying.
It's because you're kind of retarded.
No, it's because I don't appreciate those sorts of things. I don't appreciate idiocy, is what I'm saying. This is why I like Yarrick more than the orc guy, which is why I would put Yarrick higher than the orc guy, unlike you. Oh, wait.
Oh. Wait, no, I did.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, what was this about?
I don't know, you're being a retard. I'm just
reaffirming your choices, Jude. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, that's pretty much the story of Yarrick. At one point, the Imperium of Man was like, you have done an awesome job for us. We are going to let you retire from the Guard. Which, by the way, nobody retires from the Guard. You die in the Guard, essentially, because there's so many human casualties. But they were like, we're going to let you retire, and we're going to give you a whole planet to, like, govern.
No, what? I mean, what do you need?
And Yarrick said, no. My life belongs to the Guard, and I vow to hunt Gaskell down and kill him, and just end his terror. I also
appreciate this too.
So they like offered him everything, literally everything that you could ever ask for, and he said no, because I'm as long as I live, I can still draw breath and I can still hunt down Gaskell and kill him. So that's Commissar Yarrick. And I believe he's still alive today, and he's still trying to fucking kill Gaskell. So there you go. That's
He's
Yarrick.
not done it then.
Not yet. There was a big fight that Gaskell was in recently, where he got his head cut off by a space wolf. I'll tell you a bit about space wolves later because I think you're really going to like them.
I think that's the one that you said I'd probably like the most. They're Vikings, aren't they? They're Vikings. I can tell. I can feel it now. You said wolf.
We'll
I hope there's a raven involved. If there's a raven involved, I'm sold. I'm going to buy some of them. If you know what, if there's a raven involved with those ones, I will buy a model of them. Don't tell me if there is yet. Don't tell me if there is yet.
Okay.
I want to know it at the end. If there is, it has to be very involved. There has to be wolves and ravens, quite a lot involved. But I will buy a model, just one model, probably the cheapest one, of them if there is. That's all right, okay. Say.
Anyway, there you go. There's Yarrick.
We're going to move on to the next one straight away, because we're taking fucking forever. This is probably already the longest podcast, and we've got 2 more to go, and an intermediate segment. Keep going. You know, if you listen this far, right, you might be thinking, it's getting a bit long, I'm getting mildly bored. Take a break. It's okay. You know, listen to a bit of music.
We're not going to go anywhere. We're
still here. Listen to a bit of music, maybe some Oliver Tree. That's what I've been listening to lately. It's decent.
I like Oliver Tree.
All right. Maybe, and then, take a night, have sleep, and then, next time you need a bit of long-form audio content, just come back to it. We've got some more good shit for you, okay?
My favourite Oliver Tree song is Don't Let Me Down.
That's my third favourite Oliver Tree song. My second favourite is The Internet.
I've not heard that one, I don't think.
It goes like this. Welcome to the internet, we're living in a meme. And then it's good. It's good. And then my favourite one is one of the his most recent ones. It's called Cowboys Don't Cry. It almost feels like a bit of like a sad boy version of that Black Horse one. What's it called? Fucking Lil Nas X.
Oh God.
The one, the big famous one that we should know the name of. How do we not know the name of that?
How do we not know the name of that?
What's it called? Riding on a Horse. I don't know. What's it called?
I'm riding on a horse. Something about a Porsche.
What the fuck? What's it called?
Whatever.
We're both thinking out it right now.
It don't matter. We gotta forget about this because we're never gonna get through this fucking podcast ever. Right? Okay.
Your number 3. I will interrupt with the name of that song.
My number 2. This is the guy who's in second place for the most Warhammeriest Warhammers.
Old Town Road.
Oh my God! How did we not fucking remember that?
I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
That's quite bad.
Okay.
Do you know what it is? It's the memory loss from all the alcohol.
Probably.
Welcome to Paddy's pub.
He says as he finishes off another glass of Jägermeister. Anyway, my number 2 spot, and he was almost my first, is a guy.
No women on this list. That's quite sexist, actually.
I actually was debating about putting a woman on this list. I was thinking about Saint Celestine, but it was she. I don't know. I personally don't know enough about Saint Celestine to have like put her on the list, so I didn't. But she probably is cooler than the Swarmlord. So
yeah, you know what, Judd? Swarmlord, shitty pick. Actually, I don't like the Swarmlord. Feels boring.
That's fine.
I'm not into it.
If you don't like big bugs, you don't like big bugs.
No. The thing is, I don't mind a big bug. I've told you a shit ton of stuff about the Men in Black big bug. I like them.
You've been saying this for years about how much you like.
I literally watched. Genuinely, I literally bought Men in Black on DVD recently. I bought it. I didn't already have it. I bought it on DVD to watch on an old CRT TV connected to a PlayStation 2. That's how much I like big bugs. So, and maybe, you know what, Swarmlord? Maybe not feeling it, actually. So that's a bad choice. The other 2 so far, though, I like thems. I like both of them's ones.
Okay. So, the guy who has taken the second place is a guy by the name as Astrubale Vecht. And
okay, now that's a pompous name. Already starting off quite negative, actually. They've got some ground to make up. I'm not convinced by this name.
So, do you know the meme where it's like the Sigma male meme? Do you know that meme?
Oh fuck! This is not a good way of convincing me. Yeah, I do. I do.
So it's like it's like it's some sort of like horrendous life advice, and it's like you gotta do that to become a Sigma male and become
And for some
successful.
reason, Sigma is better than Alpha. I don't know how that works. But...
I don't know how it works either, but for me, Astrobale Thect is literally the living body of the Sigma male meme, because
I like him less than Swarmlord.
No, wait. I'll tell you about him. You might not personally find him cool. I find him really, really cool. But I got to get into like a couple other topics before we talk about him, just to give you like an idea of what I'm talking about. So, the Eldar are a race in 40k. They're elves. They're elves
also
in space.
In Skyrim, probably. I think
They are also in Skyrim. They're elves. They're space elves.
Space elves. Yes.
A really long time ago, the Eldar were the dominant race in the galaxy.
But now it's just white people. Am I right? That's a joke. It's a joke. It's not. It's a commentary on the fact that it's a commentary on the fact that everyone thinks it's all white men that control everything, and it maybe probably is, and that's maybe a bad thing. I'm not here to tell you otherwise. That's the joke, to bring you aware to the fact that people think that. Anyway, so the Eldar were the dominant race in the galaxy to a point where they had so much. I have to say, I wish this guy wasn't as white as fuck, because you just said.
You said it. You said it. He's very white. So they essentially had vast levels of technology to a point where like everything was basically done for them, and they didn't have to like worry about anything ever. They didn't even have to worry about death, because what they do is they die, and then they'd be reincarnated and still have the collective memories of their past life. So they literally didn't have to worry about anything ever. Now, this was good.
So, are we talking... so you say reincarnation. Reincarnation implies being put into a different body. Are we talking reincarnation, so they're put into a literal different body, or are we talking more cloning?
We're talking about that they'd be born, and they'd I don't know the exact sort of like fucking the way it works, but essentially they'd be born again, and they'd have their memories. I don't know if they had their memories like straight away or they got them later. I don't really know how it works, but they'd essentially still retain their memories from the past life.
So let me. I think we can figure this out. So this dude, right, is born.
Oh, no. This dude isn't born. He's not around at this point. For
fuck's sake, I'm not going to bother then.
Yeah, okay.
What, this guy doesn't even be born? He doesn't even come out of a vagina? What?
No, he doesn't.
Okay,
and
you've lost me. I hate him. I hate him.
Well, shut up and let me fucking tell you about him.
Fine, tell me about him,
just
but I
shut up.
fucking hate him.
Right.
He's pissed me off.
Okay. I also hate him. I think that's kind of the point. They didn't have to worry about anything ever, is what I'm trying to get at. Now, this was good for about the first few thousand years or so, but they started to get really fucking bored. So they started to create something called pleasure cults, where they just would do really fucked up shit to each other to get themselves off, because they've been around for so many thousands of years that it's the only thing. Well, you see, the thing,
Judd, as Aristotle's told us, pleasure is not the meaning of life. It's pretty kind of defined. But then again, Aristotle is a complete moron, so how can we ever trust anything he says?
Yeah,
am I right?
He's a fucking
Fuck
idiot.
Aristotle.
So they started spiraling more and more these pleasure cults. They went from like little niche things to basically all the Eldar were doing it, and it started spiraling more and more and more until they have like a lot of Eldar are like psychically aware, so you know they got space magic going on. I'll not get into the semantics of that.
Space magic.
They started having visions of like a terrible fucking future and the death of their entire race if they kept doing what they were doing. So these like seers would come to the like politicians of the Eldar, and they'd be like, we need to fucking stop now. We need to stop this depravity or we're all gonna die. And of course, politicians being politicians went, nah. So a lot of Eldar fucked off, and they went and to like sort of rediscover themselves, like you're doing with the meaning of life shit. And we'll forget about them. They're going off and doing their own thing.
Yeah, because they're never going to discover the meaning of life like me. I'm
No.
too smart
Not like
for
you.
that, am I right? Too smart. I host a podcast, you know, so obviously I'm very smart. So.
So essentially, the ones that we're going to focus on are the ones who decided to not only keep doing the fucked up shit, but ramp it up even more. So there was another subsection that split off, who were especially fucked up with the shit that they were doing. They'd be like, they'd flay people alive, and they'd you know, they would have really fucked up. And because they were so fucked up, and they were doing things that were illegal to even the Eldar, they made pocket dimensions to hide in. To get away from like the prying eyes of the law.
That's got to be less like fun than just stopping a bit, you know? Like they're doing all this fucked up shit, right? And they enjoy doing it, and then these other people are like, no, stop fucking doing that, or we're going to cause you a big problem. So they're like, okay, how can we get around doing this? Getting around being punished for this fucked up shit? Okay, we could make pocket dimensions. Okay, we could do that, or we could just do a bit less of this fucked up shit. Like,
they didn't want to though. That was the thing. God. They didn't want to. They wanted to get even worse. But like,
come on, that's just a bit like it's effort, innit?
And no, not to the Eldar. They were so technologically advanced at this point that making a pocket dimension to hide in was like fucking it'd take them a couple months.
Oh, well, why don't they just like kill? Why don't they just completely demolish all these people imposing this rule upon them then? Because if they're that powerful,
because they're the ruling elite. They have the majority share.
This is why people can't get into Warhammer.
Jake, why are you asking me the questions and then getting bored when I tell you the answers? If you don't want to hear the answers, if you don't want to hear the answers. Don't ask the fucking questions and let me actually get through this podcast, yeah? Right, so...
Pick better characters.
So one of the main pocket dimension, like the big one, was a place called Comera. And all of these fucking weirdos were hanging out in Comera. Now, as these seers had said, that essentially the race was going to go extinct if they kept doing the fucked up shit they were doing. As they ramped up, they accidentally created a new god.
Just by accident.
No, seriously, by accident. Because essentially, I'll not go into it, but if there's so much of a particular emotion in the galaxy, there's like a different realm where like emotions pull together and they can create a god. And essentially, they created the god of lust and depravity, the chaos god Slaanesh, which you might think...
I've heard of this boy.
Yeah. You might think, sick, new god. We just got a new god, and they're all about like being a fucked up weirdo. That must be fucking sick for us. It was not, because the second that Slaanesh was born, it ripped open a hole in the galaxy that is still there. It's called the Eye of Terror, and it's literally a gateway to hell. As that happened, 99% of the Eldar immediately had their souls sucked out of their body by Slaanesh. And Slaanesh gobbled up all these souls like nom 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 nom.
Slaanesh loves a good suck job.
He loves a good suck. It was the Eldar big suck happened, and Slaanesh went nom 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 yummy souls, and just wiped nearly all of them out. The ones that survived are those ones that I mentioned earlier that fucked off to like find the meaning of life and shit, and the ones who hid in Comera because they were like in a pocket dimension, so they were kind of safe. That's that bit out of the way. Now we're in Comera, and now we're actually going to talk about Astrobale Thect. So, Astrobale Thect, as we said earlier, was not born from a womb, but was artificially created.
For that, weren't he?
Yeah. He popped out of a fake womb, he plopped out, and was immediately made a slave.
Do you know what this dude is? He's fucking Tommy Toppet. He's like, oh, what, you were born from a womb? I was actually born from myself. So
No. But the thing is, in Comera, if you've not been born from a womb, you're like seen as a lesser thing. So actually being plopped out of like a fat, you're like, okay, you're less than us that have been birthed from an actual womb. So
Yeah, so fuck you then.
yeah. So Fecht was not only plopped out, but he was also immediately made a slave. So he's literally the lowest of the low. He is at the fucking very bottom of Comera.
Never even touched a pussy. Am I right?
Never even touched a pussy. He is literally the biggest virgin ever.
You couldn't be less of a virgin.
So he was a slave, and as he was like doing shit, like working for his masters and stuff, he was like, right, I'm gonna rule Comera one day. I'm just gonna rule it. And everybody was like, shut up, Fecht, you fucking idiot. You're a half-born slave. You're never going to rule shit.
This is like you when you were saying, I'm going to pass my maths GCSE one day. And we were like, shut up, Judd.
I did.
Fucking
and you know
idiot.
what? And I did. And so essentially, he managed to find like some other slaves that would like come on and like listen to him. And he managed to start like a little gang of slaves. And not much is known about this time in his life, but this gang turned slowly into what is called a cabal, and cabals are like sort of like military powers in Comera.
Weird.
And he was an archon. He became like a general of another cabal from all of these slaves he'd rallied up, and he either joined or created the Cabal of the Black Heart.
You can't call him that, Judd. You got to call him the Coloured Heart.
I think that's worse, actually.
The African American heart. I'm not sure which one's the one nowadays. But,
multi-racial heart.
Multi-ethnic heart, yeah. The multi-ethnic heart.
The Cabal of the multi-ethnic heart.
Yeah. That's how you do it.
And essentially, what he became like an archon, a general in this cabal.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you know that genuinely in Yu-Gi-Oh! They had to rename a lot of characters to do with that? So you know Dark Magician?
Yeah.
Iconic Yu-Gi-Oh! Card. Dark Magician Girl. Spin-off of that. In Japan, they're called Black Magician. And they had to they renamed that for American and kind of European audiences because they thought, it's a little bit slavey, that, isn't it? That you've got like this black...
What?
No,
Why
but because you're in control of this black magician and you have to make them do what you want.
Yeah, if you read into it like...
bit slavey, though. It's just a little bit slavey.
If you read into it like that, like, you could make...
Yeah, I know. I mean, come on. It's an international corporation. They have to read into every minute detail because otherwise someone's going to go, that's racist! You can't get control of the black magician! I don't understand how Dark Magician's better, though. Is that better? You know?
I don't know.
Nowadays,
anyway,
if that was the translation, they would just be called Magician.
A magician. All right. Anyway, so they, these Eldar, they're called Drukhari now. The fucked up ones. So the Drukhari like to take slaves so that they can torture and rape them. You know, as it goes. So they'd send out raiding parties into like the galaxy.
It's like Vikings again.
and they'd take slaves. But they didn't take a lot because they didn't want like their position to be revealed.
Oh, you gotta be reasonable. Like, you know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna take some slaves, but you know, I'm not a dick. Yeah. You know, I'm not a bad guy.
Listen,
I'm only gonna take a few. I'm only gonna take a few.
I'm not a bad guy. He says this is like wearing a cape made of flame skin. He's like, I'm not a bad guy.
Look, I might murder a few. I might have a few slaves. I'm not a bad guy though. I'll leave most of you.
I might literally have a creature called a homunculus that has the knowledge to take a living person and mold them into a living chair that I will sit on. That's actually canon, by the way. But I'm not a bad guy.
Yeah, I only take most of you as slaves. Not all.
Yeah. So essentially, they sent out little raiding parties to like capture people. Vecht, however, was like, let's ramp it up. Let's ramp it up. Let's take more. So the Drukhari, being like, you know, perverted fuckheads,
gonna become a bad guy.
We're like, he's gonna become a bad guy. So essentially, the Drukhari was like, yeah, go on then. We'll take a bit more. And it was like, let's take a bit more than that. And like, all right, we're pushing it a bit.
Why don't you
but we're gonna do it.
look, dude, just take all of them. You're already taking them as slaves. Just have all of them. What's the problem? Just do all of it.
You couldn't take all. You couldn't take all of them because humans breed like fucking rats, and there's a lot of them, and they have space marines, which are very scary. But okay, so
space.
Essentially, this goes on for a while. And speaking of space marines, they find a space marine vessel, and they're like, okay. We've been taking mainly like merchant ships and stuff. We can't fuck with the Space Marines because the Imperium doesn't care if they lose like 1 or 2 merchant vessels. It's like, people get lost in the void, casualties happen. But Space Marines are like, we need Space Marines to defend ourselves. But Fett was like, no, let's just take them. Let's just take them.
Yeah, I agree with him. Fuck them. Fucking Space Marines. I've never even played this game once. I've played it once, but it may as well have been a very small 5-foot-tall nerd playing it for me. And I already don't like them.
He was very short, that man.
Space Marines, fuck off. They're all, it's like, when you're in high school and there's like the Brad Pitt type of character. He's very, big pretty boy, gets everything. Fuck off. That's Space Marines, isn't it? That's the one. I can tell. I've barely even noticed any of this game, and I know it. I know that's the case.
I like some Space Marines.
Yeah, but Judd, come on. They're the Brad Pitt of this whole thing. They are.
Oh, no, they are. They're the poster boys. They're the poster boys of the franchise. If you look at anything to do with Warhammer 40k...
You know what? Do you know what? I'm campaigning right now. Not very hard, because I don't want to do anything. But I'm campaigning right now. I'm going to send one email to Games Workshop. I'm not going to send anything. I'm not going to send a tweet. Yeah. I'm just going to say it right now. Cancel Space Marines. Do you know what? Kill them all off for a year. An entire calendar year, one of our years. So from 2020, not this year because we've already started it. 2023 to 2024, all Space Marines gone. That's what I think should happen. I'm claiming it right now.
That would literally never happen. They make Games Workshop so much money.
Oh, I bet they do, but
they are incredibly marketable.
This is how much I believe in that. I just said, bet they do. I believe that they do.
I believe that they do.
But, you know what? Okay. Fuck them. I don't care. Do you know what? Good. I reckon they would make more money off the publicity of that than they would from Space Marines.
Do you like Fecht a bit more now that he's taken these Space Marines? Or
Judd, I've not even remember this guy's name. He's a fucking cunt. Okay. I don't like him.
Okay. All right. So essentially, they take him. They take these Space Marines, and as I said, the Imperium went right. Now this is a fucking problem. So they went to this like area space where the vessel went missing, and where all these other vessels have been missing, and they found a portal into Comera.
Portal 1 or Portal 2? Because the Portal 2.
Portal 2. It was Portal 2.
What are we getting Portal 3, by the way?
Valve never makes a third installment.
No, just drop that. Just forget about all that. Just drop it, and then the world will go crazy. And then, you know what? The 2023 to 2024. Okay, Space Marines gone. Portal 3. This is what we need.
And then Jake went to become Prime Minister of England with these tenants. No Space Marines, Portal 3.
That's the only 2 things that I'm going to make happen. Okay, nothing else. Unemployment rates through the roof. It's going to be awful. Okay,
suicide rates way up,
way up. The economy very, very bad. But Portal 3, no Space Marines. That's going to happen.
Nice. Right, okay, so they found a portal into Comera, which you never find. You never find a way to get into Comera. You just don't.
Because it's a pocket dimension.
Yeah.
I remember that. I probably shouldn't have. It was a very bad idea.
So a big fucking Imperial fleet just went through it, and they started to siege Comera.
This is some Star Wars Rise of the Jedi type shit, this Judd.
Yeah, they started to siege Comera, and they did all right, but basically all of the Drukhari are there, so they ended up getting fucked up. This portal got closed, and this fleet was essentially dealt with. But every like cabal and like the ruling nobles that ruled Comera were dead. They were all dead.
You know what? Sometimes I wish I was a cabal.
Apart from the cabal of the Black Heart. And also,
now, you see, you can't call it that. You've got to call it a coloured heart.
And also, Archon Axtrabale Thect was him and his cabal. Him and his cabal were completely untouched. And not only that, but during this whole fucking kerfuffle, he'd managed to get like a bunch of like sellswords and stuff in Comera to like fight for him. So he essentially came forward after all this shit had happened, and he said, "I did this. I planned this entire thing to happen. Because now I have all of the soldiers, I have all of the resources, and the only guy who's left that has any position of power. If you fuck with me, I'll do it again, and I'll kill us all." And then he was in charge. He just ruled Comera, because nobody had dare oppose him. He'd literally set up the near extinction
Judd,
of his...
I know this is your number 2 character, but this guy fucking sucks. Listen here, right? That's like me going to the pond near my house, and then someone else visiting that pond and go, "Excuse me, fuck you, this is my pond, so you're not allowed to look at it." And then I punch him, and he goes, "Oh, fuck," and runs off. Right? And then who gives a shit is the whole point of that. Is that, like, the pond that's near me is full of fucking car tyres and bullshit. So no one actually even wants to look at it. So he doesn't call the police or anything, because it's shit. And I'm like, no, this piece of shit is mine, so you fuck off. And then everyone's like, all right, then I will.
You say that, but it is to them, because they're so depraved and fucked up, they love this shit. It's like, you know how much
I'm getting it now. It's Scotland.
No, I've got one even better for you. It's Corporation in Sheffield.
It is. It's just like that. That's like me going to you to go, "Judd, I'm coming here now, and you're never allowed there again." You go, "What?" And, or it's like you saying to me, no, it's more like this. It's like you going, "Right, this the worst nightclub in the world, right? This is mine. You're never allowed to go there again." And I go, "Fine. Okay, good. I didn't want to." And that's what they're doing. So fuck that guy. Oh my god, Judd, this is a shitty character. I can't believe you picked him for your number 2.
Shut up and listen. Shut the fuck up and listen.
I've been listening for a long while.
So you got to think. He's not done this to people that think like you. They're not all thinking, "Well, fuck you. I didn't want to live here anyway." They're all people like him. It's like me doing this to a bunch of other me's. It's like, we all love this fucked up, weird,
I still don't
place.
give a shit, though. The thing is, if you know a bunch of retards that are fighting. Put it this way, right? There's a bunch of people very mentally disabled. That's not a negative thing. That's fine. I'm not giving a big. So they're so mentally. When I say mentally disabled, I mean extreme, to the point where the only thing they can get pleasure out of is strawberries. We're going with that, okay? Strawberries, okay. So you've got a very mentally disabled person A, very mentally disabled person B. They're like, "Ooh, yeah, that strawberry there, that is sick," right? And let me tell you, this strawberry, right? It's brown, not red. It's not edible. They just think that that's what makes strawberry good. They're arguing over, and they're like, "Oh no, yeah," and they're fighting each other, and it's like, what the? Why the fuck? And then, right? Angela Merkel, Prime Minister of fucking Germany, one of the most powerful women, the most powerful one there is ever, actually, I think, looks at them. Why the fuck should she compete for that strawberry, Judd? This is what I'm saying to you based on what you just told me.
No, because...
Why the fuck should she give a shit? They're both fighting over a planet that no one should care about, that everyone escapes to, that doesn't even exist within our universe. Fuck it. What's the point?
You're not getting this at all. You're not getting it at all.
I think I am.
And that's
you's
fine.
not getting this somehow.
I'll move on. It's me who's not getting it, who's been in the fandom for 10 years of his
Yeah, I think so, somehow. I think that's how this is working out.
Anyway, that's Astrobale Effect. You don't like him, that's fine. This isn't your top
that's
5
my
personal
least
list.
favourite character out of the ones you've said, actually.
Okay,
somehow.
whatever.
But fair enough, though. If you disagree with me or Judd, if you want to be on my side, tweet at TweetsBadly. If you want to be on Judd's side, just kind of privately get angry at yourself under your bed covers. That'll be fine.
Let's get some Civil War shit going, like Team Judd, Team Jay.
Yeah. Let's do that. Judd, I want to tell you about something, right? I'm going to warn you.
Can I run for a piss real quick? Can you say some other shit that you don't need me to hear while I run for a piss for literally 10 seconds?
Very quick then.
I'm going to be watch this.
Okay, I'm going to tell the audience about something first before Judd gets back. So something that's genuinely actually I think is interesting that actually probably isn't is that me and Judd drink a lot of alcohol, right? A lot of people probably think we're alcoholics. We probably are alcoholics. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm mildly worried about it. We will deal with it. But don't worry. What I will say is, the thing I mentioned at the start of the podcast, this whole kind of spiced rum with Mountain Dew concept. Lamb's Navy rum, okay? Lamb's Navy has a dark rum. So Lamb's Navy, I believe, is the dark rum. And then the one I've got just off camera here, I will show it. I don't know how much it'll come up. It says Alfred Lamb's spiced rum. That version of the rum, especially spiced rum, maybe the dark rum mixed with Mountain Dew. Now, if you're above the age of 21,
whoa, you can't call them that anymore. It's Mountain Israelis.
If you mix Lamb's brand rum, specifically the spice rum, but maybe the dark rum with Mountain Israelis, kind of, what's it called? Citrus sweet drink. I don't know. Anyway, I'm humouring Judd. It's Mountain Dew. I'm telling you, now that's something to. You know what? I was about to say it's something to rival Bumbu, and it's really not. Bumbu rum is the best. It's so good. Look, right. I'm sitting. We like alcohol so much that my green screen background that I chose was a pub.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Bumbu rum is still the best I've ever tasted. Do you know what I would pick as my number 2 though? Now that I've been to the country that made it and I understand it, Jameson whiskey. That's probably my number 2 spirit. Anyway, I was going to say something else important, which I will say before we get into Judd's number 1 most the character that Judd likes the most in Warhammer. I've got a thing I want to tell you, but also I want to ask you a question based on this, Judd. I'm going to ask you the question first, and I will tell you my thoughts on it, after you've told me your thoughts. So what I wanted to ask you is, who in the world, they have to be alive. Bear in mind, my answer actually might not be alive, thinking about it. But they have to be alive. Who would be your most ideal podcast guest for us right now, as of the state of this? Bear in mind, like, if you said someone like, I don't know, Brad Pitt, we mentioned earlier, he would never come on this podcast. It has to be someone who maybe, by the grace of God, they might get on. So Brad Pitt never would. Zendaya never would. But someone just might. Who just might come on this podcast that would be your most wanted on it?
I've got it.
Who's that?
Psychic Pebbles, Sack Hadel.
They're very busy. They're very busy. I don't know. That's a stretch.
No. I don't think he's too busy. He worked on Smiling Friends for the one thing, and he's just sort of waiting to do the next season of that. So I don't think he's busy at all.
I've got a secret behind this question, Judd. Whoever you mentioned, I'm gonna tweet at them from the Tweets Badly. And I'm gonna say,
God. I think if he came on, I'd actually cry. I do think I'd cry. But yeah, no, I think he has like an opportunity. I don't know. I think he could maybe come on because he could probably be like, wouldn't it be funny if I just went on this like one podcast that has like absolutely no listeners and I just like talk to them about shit? I do, and I honestly think that's something that Sack would find funny, and I do think he could actually do it. Hello,
okay,
are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm typing out the Twitter message to this person. So if this needs changing, let me know. So this is a message I've put. Yo, you are rated as our most requested podcast guest. Please, would you ever be on our podcast DM, please? Yeah. At... What's his name again? I won't listen. Psycho Pebbles.
Psychic Pebbles.
How do you spell that? P-S-Y.
No,
D-I-K. Pebbles. I don't know.
It's P-H-Y-S-I-C-K. P-E...
Wait. P-H-Y...
Fucking hell. Yeah.
S-I-C-K...
No, sorry, not S. Sorry, I got that wrong. It's P-H-Y...
Yeah.
Have you got P-H-Y?
Yeah, I have. I can get 3 letters in a row. I think I'm all right.
I don't know. C...
Yeah, C.
H-I-C...
Yeah.
Okay. Pebbles. P-E-B-B-L-E-S.
I love how you said pebbles as if that's a very obvious word, which it is, but not for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to read it back to you, actually. P-H-Y. C-H.
No.
How the fuck have I got that wrong?
You've already got it wrong.
Read it out again.
See, I find it funny.
Read it out again!
No, wait, I find it funny that you're going, I can get 3 letters, and immediately fuck up the 3 letters. You immediately got that wrong.
Okay, I'm going to try again.
Okay.
P-S-Y.
Yes.
You actually, genuinely, anyone who's listening to this, replay the podcast, sample it, take the audio, take the video, whatever, of Judd getting that wrong. I 100% know that you got that wrong, and it wasn't me. I 100% know that. And then tweet at tweetsbadly and send that clip to us. If 1,000 people tweet that, a billion people, as many people as possible tweet that to us. So
we're never gonna have a billion people.
Fuck it. I know they're not, but I won't fucking care. P-S-Y-C-H-I-C-P-E-B-B-L-E-S.
You got it. That's it.
And then I'm gonna put "you have big cock" at the end. Spelt C-O-C. Yeah. Cool. All right, okay, so that's yours. So that's who we're tweeting to for you.
He is going to take one look at that and be like, what the fuck is this stupid
shit? Yeah, that's fine, because that's your top, that's your favourite guest that you would ever want on this podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely, yeah.
So the one I want is extremely way less likely than yours. And here's why. I'm going to send you a clip from YouTube that I actually have to find right now. I should have definitely found this beforehand. Mine is a lot more obscure. Okay. Have you ever... How many Batman movies have you seen?
God, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I could... I don't know if I can answer that. That's an unknown.
Look, right, okay, so this is the level of obscure this is. I'm trying to find the clip. So my top podcast guest ever would be a guy who has acted in a Batman movie. Okay?
Okay.
That doesn't sound so bad, but the thing is, he's so obscure that I can't even find a clip of this guy. I've had it before, and I've watched it many times, and it's made me laugh a lot. But it's because other people don't agree, and people don't like notice this guy in the movie. He's literally got he's got 1.5 words. Is the amount of words I would say.
Nice.
So there's a guy who that's a bit of clues, okay, as to who my favorite podcast guest ever would be, and I want to tell you him, but I can't fucking remember. Okay, I can't give you the clip. I want to get you the clip, but I should have got it beforehand. Okay, and what Judd's gonna do is tell us his number 1 favorite character, and I'm gonna interrupt it halfway and give you a clip of my favorite podcast guest.
Really, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, because I can't get it quick enough. Otherwise, we'll be waiting here about 15 minutes while I get the clip. So, okay, let's tell us it. Come on,
Jake. You're not gonna like it, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a space.
Okay, look, right, that's fine. But so long as he doesn't appear between the years of 2023 and 2024, I'm still appealing for president of the world.
Okay. He's not exactly a space marine anyway. I'll get into it. So like fact, I had to tell you a little stuff beforehand, but I need to tell you nearly as much beforehand with this guy. So his name is Conrad Kurz, and I'll send you that on Facebook if you want to look at that between searching for your obscure man. So we got a guy. He is called the Emperor of Mankind, and he is essentially he's the big guy for the humans. He's like the guy, and he is like, I hate aliens. Aliens are disgusting. I want to take over the galaxy, and just humans can rule the galaxy. But I need an army to do that. So what he did was he made 20 genetic created demigods called Primarchs to lead these armies. One of which
Primarchs. No. I had something else to say. I found the guy I was on about, but you said that this guy has followers called Primarch. Now, come on, Judd. This guy has £4 followers that are in a very budget clothing store in
Look up
Primarch store. Google that. If you're not in the UK, maybe Europe, Google Primarch store and you'll realise that that's a retail store, a place that sells clothes for about £2, which is what, $3? And they don't even have an online store. That's old school they are. And then your Judd's favourite character in all this lore works for Primarch. That's all I'm getting from this. Anyway, before Judd has a chance to rebuke this thing, I'm going to tell you my favourite podcast guest that I would ever have. I'm going to do it right now. Look.
Go on then, hurry up.
I will
Right.
fucking hell. I will fucking hell, actually. I'm going to share my screen with you, dude, because...
Alright, hold on.
You need to see this. Right, are you seeing this? You seen it? You got it?
I'm seeing it.
Cams? Okay, so... This is the scene that my favourite podcast guest ever would be on. I'm going to play the audio from it, and then I'll tell you about it. So Judd will see what it is, and I'll see what it is, and then here we go. I'll tell you about it soon. There he is. Did you see it? You saw it? I'm going to do it one more time.
Immediately was like, it's him.
I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, so... There he is.
Get him on, book him, get him on.
So, look. Batman Forever is the movie. It's the one where Jim Carrey plays the Riddler. Tommy Lee Jones, bringing him back as a reference, plays Two-Face. And there's a scene where Batman smashes through the roof because some goons are attacking his ball or whatever. I don't know. And then Nicole Kidman, who is Batman's love interest, is like looking up lustfully at Batman or some shit. And then there's a man behind her who goes, Batman!
Yeah, that's all he does. Get him on. God, he looked kind of old. I hope he's not like dead or something.
He's 100%. I'm not even just talking podcast guest. He would be my favourite podcast guest, but the person who in life I would ever most want to speak to. That is it. He is the number one. I swear to God, I don't know what it is. Actually, I've got some theories. I actually don't know what it is, but I really have to speak to that guy. I have to ask him. I don't know why. I've got such a lust to talk to him. I have to. Anyway, Batman Forever, one of the 90s, early 80s movies. There's a extra who goes, "Mama, yeah." He's my favourite podcast. Please.
I want him more than Psychic Pebbles.
Good. Honestly, genuinely, if you have any connection to that guy, I know it's a long shot. If you have any connection to that guy, please. This is genuinely. I will never beg for anything more on the podcast. Please get in contact with him. Please. Ask him to be on our podcast. I know it's not. He's got next to no reach. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you be willing to pay him? I would be willing to pay him £250 personally. Would you contribute £200?
I'll match you on 250 if you can.
So
if you can find the dude,
£500 commission from us both.
Which to them is like $700 a dude.
To be on a 1 hour and a half podcast. 1.5 hours on Zoom. That's it. We'll do it on Zoom. Zoom's shit, but we'll do it on Zoom. An hour and a half for a podcast. We'll pay the guy £500.
We'll do that.
Put us in. If anyone can do that, amazing. And the person who puts us in contact with him, I will personally pay them £50. You don't have to pay them anything, Judd. I'll pay them £50.
I'll do a video. I'll do a video of me looking in the camera and I'll wink and I'll say, "Nice job, kiddo."
And I will do the same, but I will do it badly. I'll do it worse than Judd does it.
you'll like stutter over your words and go like, "Nice job."
I'll go like, "Nice job." Insert username here. Yeah, and I'll do it like the bug guy from Men in Black. That's how I'll do it.
You go, "Nice job, kiddo."
Yeah. So anyway, that's that. I've been wanting, genuinely, I've had that on my list of things to bring up on a podcast for a long time because I'm I don't think even you understand. I'm really desperate to talk to that guy. There's something that's incredibly alluring about, like, I really need to talk to him, like, a lot. Anyway, I hope that doesn't creep him out. Right, we've been going for a while. Judd needs to tell us about his favourite ever Warhammer character. Now, listen, audience, okay? Take this seriously, right? The whole point of this is we get a chance to talk about things that we give a shit about that you probably don't. And it's fair enough. You probably shouldn't. But, you know, this is your final chance, okay? This is the most chance you've ever got to pretend you're interested. I've been doing it for years with Judd. I'm not interested in anything that he fucking says. But I'm a good actor, okay? So I've been trying a long while. So this is your chance. We're all going to do it. Come on. Judd's favourite character of all time. I know you've started telling us about it, but start again. Here we go.
I'll start from the beginning.
We're all going to pretend we like it. Go.
Okay. So there is a godlike being called the Emperor of Mankind.
It's boringness in it. Oh my god. No, that's a joke. It's a joke. Carry on.
Called the Emperor of Mankind, who he wants to conquer the galaxy because, as we said earlier, aliens are dirty and nasty and bad. They're gross. We don't like gross. We don't like them.
Let us know your opinion.
So he made 20 sons to lead the Space Marine.
He didn't. He made them.
No, he didn't. He made them.
Like molded them out of clay. What did he do?
Oh well, we don't know because we just don't know that.
Just like the gods. Just like the god stars.
He just made them. He just made them because the Emperor's sick as fuck, and he can do that. He made these 20 sons that would then go to lead the Space Marine legions.
You've not sent me this guy's name. You need to send me this.
I have sent you his name.
I'm too drunk.
So
keep going.
As he'd like finished making them all, and I don't know, his fucking back was turned or something. He got distracted, but with fucking Candy Crush on his phone or some shit. The Chaos Gods essentially were like, I don't like the idea of this guy taking over the universe, you know. Let's just fuck with him. Let's just be massive trolls and just fuck with him. So they opened up a portal and they scooped up all of
Sorry. Portal 1 or Portal 2?
This was Portal 1.
Okay.
So they opened up this portal and they took all of the incubation pods that all of these Primarchs were in.
Now that's sexy. Incubation pods? That's sexy.
Fucking hot. That's fucking hot. And they just scattered them across the galaxy. They just threw them all over the fucking place.
You know what? I love it when Daddy scatters my incubation pods across the galaxy.
Oh, please, Daddy. Oh, please, Daddy Emperor, scatter my incubation pod. Oh, please.
I'm actually going to throw up. That's fucking gross.
That's terrible.
Actually, I don't think we should do anything. I think we should end it a whole podcast forever.
Just end it.
Forever, right now.
Cut it.
Nah, let's go. Come on.
Okay, well, stop interrupting then, and I'll
if you
go
tune
on.
into this podcast, you got to be ready for a few incubation pods. Am I right? Come on. Anyway, carry on.
So, the planet that Konrad Kurz landed on was a planet called Nostramo, and you have to say it like that.
Nice. I like it.
And Nostramo was a fucking shithole. Nostramo sucked. It was essentially the star.
It's Wakefield.
Oh no! It's worse. It's worse than Wakefield. It's Grimsby.
It's like. Oh fucking hell! Calm down.
No.
You know what? I was gonna say a slightly worse place than Wakefield, and then you said Grimsby, and I actually got shocked. I was like, no. Calm down, though.
It can't be that. No, but it is. It's Grimsby on steroids. Nostramo fucking sucked.
No. Nostramo on steroids is Grimsby. It's the wrong way. You got that the wrong way around, actually.
Anyway, Nostramo fucking sucks. In fact, it sucks so badly that it orbits a dying star. So it's like the light reaches the planet, but barely. So it's mostly like eternal night. It's always cold. It's always raining. It's always basically pitch black.
Always Scandinavia.
It fucking sucks. In fact,
except Scandinavia's good.
Yeah,
so it's exactly like Scandinavia, except bad.
The crime rate on Nostramo is it's through the roof. It's there are so many counts of rape on Nostramo that the population count would be, by the way, would be through the roof. The planet would be entirely overpopulated if the fact that the population wasn't kept in control by the massive amounts of suicide. Nostramo sucks.
And just this is like Noe. Yeah. That's actually very similar, actually. Probably not. I've not looked at any figures on that. But
so, this is where Konrad Kurz landed. And some Primarchs... Yeah,
that's the guy that we're on about. And
yeah.
I thought we were even talking about a person. I thought we were just on about, like, some shitty country or something. I don't know.
So, some of the Primarchs that landed on the world, they'd go on to be adopted by parents. Like somebody would find this incubation pod and they'd be like, I'm going to raise this kid that's fallen from the sky and I shall raise him to be a good man. Konrad Kurz had no one. He had absolutely no one. He was left on his own on a planet that was perpetually night and full of murderers and rapists. So he became a bit feral. Because he's
just like we did, actually, after we were left on a planet called Barnsley.
The planet
of
all
Barnsley. Those sorts of things, yeah.
In the system of Yorkshire. Yeah. So he essentially went a bit feral, and he was a growing boy. You know how, like, Goku eats a lot, because it's a Saiyan? Yeah. And he, like, uses all that energy and stuff. It's the same thing with a Primarch.
Sin City. I'm getting those sorts of vibes.
Yeah. It's like Sin City. So, because he's a growing boy and he needs to eat, and he's a bit feral and nobody raised him right, he saw people as food. So he'd eat people. He'd kill and eat people. Now, Space Marines have got this kind of, like, cool ability where if they eat somebody's brains, they can, like, get a bit of their memories to, like, gain, like, knowledge and stuff. When Konrad Kurz would go on to eat somebody's brains, he'd have visions of people murdering and robbing and raping. And that's all he saw in his head for his entire youth. And it got to a point where it was like, you know what?
Just like me.
Yeah.
All right. That's just like any other funny chap.
Bro, he's
just like Jimmy
me.
Carr. You ever seen Jimmy Carr joke about something?
No,
I've never. I'm going to show the people that are watching the video version. That's Jimmy Carr right there. I can see him. He looks the same. Basically looks the same. Jimmy Carr, Jimmy Carr is always holding a long serrated sword and very heavy plate armor. I've said every time I've seen Jimmy Carr, he's always like that, you know?
Yeah.
He's not. That's the joke. He's not. Fuck you.
So, he essentially was like, fuck this, I hate this world, I hate these people. I'm just going to start killing, and I'm going to try and send a message of,
You know
stop
what? If I ever did that, there'd be a big problem. You know what? If anyone in the real world and went, oh, fuck this, I'm just going to start killing, there'd be a big problem with that, okay?
You're not a superhuman demigod is the problem, though, Jake. If you were, then you could.
Listen here, Jed, I've been
so...
trying to study the meaning of life. How can you ever say that I'm not a superhuman demigod? How can you say that for sure?
I can quite confidently say that.
Okay, so prove it then. Okay, you've got. I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
No,
to prove
I'm not going to prove it because
10,
we need to get through this podcast.
9,
Because
prove it, 8,
shut
7,
up. I'm just going to keep talking. I'm just going to keep talking.
Prove it.
So
4,
anyway,
prove it. 3.
this guy
prove it, 4. 3.
was
I
like,
said 4 twice. 2. Prove it. 1. 1 prawn. Prawn. I don't know. Anyway, who's this guy?
If people were still listening to this podcast, they have tuned the fuck out.
They're not loyal then, Judd. And surely Conrad, who I've just read his name of, would like loyalty. I did not listen to you that much.
Just like loyalty. So he was like, I'm gonna just kill because I want peace on this planet. He was like, I want peace. This world's fucked up. I'm gonna start killing. So he did. Well, you say that. So essentially, he'd find like gang members and gang leaders, and he'd flay them alive, and he'd torture and mutilate them, and just crucify them and leave them up places.
Fuck me, Jesus.
And it sent a very clear message of stop being a cunt. That was Curse's message. Was, oi, all of you, stop it, or I will get you.
It's very Third Reichish, though, isn't it?
Oh, well,
it's a bit like, stop doing anything ever, or I will make you the worst feeling ever.
Yeah, but these people were like murderers and rapists, so they deserved it.
I mean, you could just put them in prison, though.
Oh no, that's not his style. So he'd go on to keep doing this, and it'd get more horrendous. His forms of torture, and people like gang leaders would be like, "Go and kill this guy because he's fucking scary." And the people that were sent to go and get him would show.
No, you can't do that. You can't brush over that. You can't just go. Some gang leaders went, just go kill this guy. He was scary. No. That's about 1,000 years worth of law. Come on. Like, I know it's Warhammer, but you need to spend more than 2 seconds on that.
You said that you don't care about semantics.
No, I get that. But the difference between 2 seconds and like 20 seconds is a big difference for me, okay? So you went, there's some leaders that went, go kill that guy. No. More than that, go. 20 seconds rather than 2 seconds. Go. Do it.
Okay, all right. So these gang leaders were having their like members show up, strung up, mutilated, flayed, and they were like, that's bad for business.
Yeah, they were doing bad. They strung them up because they were like, you're not doing a good job. Kill them. Good. Fine. Carry on.
Yeah. So they were like, okay, we need you guys to go find whoever the fuck it is that's flaying all of our guys and kill him. And that's essentially it. They were like, we need you to find this dude that's like murdering everyone, all of our employees, and go kill him
Conrad, who was doing
that. Yeah. And because he's bad for business. So the guys who would
look. So the 20 seconds was definitely very valuable. Let's be honest.
So the people who were sent to go find Conrad would show back up.
So the people who were sent to kill Conrad was like Joey Malone, Timmy Two Hands. Like we're talking Italian mafia.
Stephen the Stabber.
Yeah. Timmy Two Guns. All those fucks.
But Timmy Two Times was no match for Conrad Curse, the actual living demigod who would flay people alive. So
that makes sense.
They'd show back up to like the gang leaders, with their eyes missing and their arms, and they were so fucked up by Conrad Curse that
they still had their arms.
No, they were missing their arms. They were missing their eyes.
Okay, I mean, lucky guys, they weren't missing their legs. Lucky.
Yeah. Right. They had to walk back to the gang leader, you see. So they would show back up to their gang leader, and they were instructed to repeat the phrase over and over again, "I am coming for you," as a message. Yeah.
I mean, okay, which type of? Yeah, I think
You know
what
what type. You know what type.
Wait, no, was it actually that? That type?
No, it wasn't that type. You
okay,
retard.
all right.
Let me tell my
ask,
story.
and it's not my fault. Okay, I just gotta ask that.
I don't know the lore of Warhammer. That might be the case.
It might be. There's a fucking pleasure god. Come on.
Yeah, that is right. That's fair. So this went on for a very long time, to a point where people started referring to like Conrad Kurz as the Night Haunter, and it became like a myth, and it started perpetuating as to like it got to a point where like people wouldn't even go out past 10. Because it's like, don't go out past 10, eat your greens and veggies, because if you don't, the Night Haunter will come for you.
Do you know what that's exactly like? The Kinderkrauser. Do you remember when they made that around Christmas time? Do you know what you should do if you don't know what we're referencing right now? You should listen to every single other podcast we've ever made, at least until January 2021, and you'll know what we mean.
Yes. So that's what it became. And, people would resist him, and then they'd get flayed alive. So slowly,
sometimes people resist me, and then I flay them alive. Yeah. And it works quite well actually. That not bad.
So this city that was rife with like murder and rape and everything, they slowly learned not to be cunts. It took them like a couple decades to like
England.
Be fair.
About Scotland.
Yeah. It took them a while.
That's genuinely what Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. They're looking at England, going, "Stop being cunts." And our governments were going, "And we'll try and figure that out." And it's taken about like 100 years to try and it's still not worked. I mean,
well, maybe we need to start flaying them alive again.
Yeah, I think so. I think people need to be flayed alive again. Yeah, I think it's good.
So after he dealt with like all of the crime lords and stuff, he went to like the ruling government, and he just went to him and went.
He went to Boris.
I mean, yeah, he went. "I'm in charge now. Try and stop me." And some people tried to stop him, and as with the criminals, those that tried to stop him were flayed alive.
So the equivalent of nowadays is Keir Starmer from Labour Party went, "Look, right, I'm a winning selection." And Boris goes to him and went, "No." And everyone goes, "Fuck off, Boris. You had 12 parties in lockdown." And he goes, "Yeah. Yeah."
Yeah, that's essentially what happened with Conrad Kurz. He's like some retard was like, "No, we're not gonna let you be in charge," and everybody else went. Ugh.
And the public all goes, "Oi, yeah, I mean like Dominic Cummings in 2020 early," and he goes, "Oh yeah, fuck, all right then."
So Kurz became the ruler of Nostromo, and eventually crime rate was gone. It dropped to 0. There was no crimes because
London's always going to stab people.
Because
do you know what the minimum stabbing rate of London should be? About
I don't know
1.5%. It should be that. I think that's a good amount. Am I right?
You are right.
Is that
right.
the official game?
So,
is that the official Streams Badly stance on this?
I don't know. So. Can I go 10 seconds about talking about this guy without you interrupting me about something? Am I allowed to do that?
Because people need to get some sort of interest. So
So he had like TVs like fitted in every single home, and he
just like Pimp My Ride.
Yeah, just like Pimp My Ride. And he was, if ever somebody decided, you know what, I'm gonna commit a crime and try and get away with it, he'd find them, and he'd broadcast their torture to every single home on the planet. And
I like this. I'm sorry to interrupt. How would he? I like this. I like that. They should do that more for all these people like claiming off welfare. Am I right? Tories for the win. That's a joke. That's a joke. The opposite of that. How does he find them?
So obviously, because
please robots.
He's not robot. Why please robot?
I want little robots like scurrying everywhere, like loads of them that are all filming everything. That's what I wanted.
Maybe. Yeah, you know what? Maybe. Yeah, sure. He had little robots.
That's what we're going with then.
We'll go with little robots. He was literally the ruler of this planet. If they had the technology to make little robots to spy on everybody, they had little robots to spy on everybody.
Come on,
so that's how he did it. Yeah, he's space times. Why not?
Are you done then? Is this it? Is this?
No. I've got a little bit more. But
how
he'd
long?
essentially.
Have you got about 10 minutes more? Because I really need to piss.
No, I've got like 2 minutes more.
I can do 2 minutes. Go on. I'm gonna piss while you tell us.
So he. Oh, are you going? Are you gone? He's gone. Right. I can get through 2 minutes of uninterrupted dialogue then. Konrad Kurz went on to essentially get the crime rate to zero. If anybody interrupted his rule or did any crimes, he'd torture them. He'd broadcast it to the populace in all of their homes, and it was mandatory watching. If you didn't watch it, you were flayed alive, obviously, because it's Konrad Kurz. And he essentially took over this planet of criminals and rapists, and he got them all to stop being absolute bastards. And then that's pretty much it for Konrad Kurz. He was later picked up again by the Emperor to go on and do the Emperor's Grand Crusade and fight alongside the Emperor to kill all the nasty aliens. And when he left Nostromo, the planet immediately fell back into crime. Like, straight away. It just did. It just did, because even though he'd literally spent decades telling them to fucking stop, they just started up again because there wasn't that present threat of mutilation and torture. And that's it. I mean, that's not it. There is a lot more to Konrad Kurz. He would go on to do a lot more of a shit. But for the basic understanding of Konrad Kurz, that is what happened to him. I'm trying to think of something else cool he
You're not
did.
great entertaining the audiences, are you, Joe? I can see the panic on your face when I get back. But it's fine.
No. I'd literally just finished as
cool. So I'm sure that whatever that was entertaining. I bet it. But the thing is,
yeah.
Just as my excuse, we've literally been going for 2.5 hours. I've not pissed in that whole time, and I've nearly drunk a whole litre of rum. So, what are you going to do about it? Cool. My assessment of that is, Judd, your top 5 of Warhammer characters is better than my top 5 of shoe silhouettes, which is what we did in the last podcast, if you're interested in that. I think that is better. I think it's more interesting. But not only that, I'm going to give you my favourite out of the ones you presented, and that is your number 3, the general dude.
You really liked Commissar Yarrick, didn't you?
Out of those 5, that's my favourite.
You know why I genuinely think that is? It's because you're autistic. And Yarrick is a very sort of, let's figure out the facts, and we will work with the facts, and we will win the war with facts and logic.
It's like, look, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to figure out what your deal is, and I'm going to fucking, I'm going to do something. I'm going to fucking do something about it. No one else really does that. I like the orc guy as well. There's some elements of that I appreciate. Those two, obviously, they're intertwined, aren't they? But those were kind of my favourite sort of deals. Now, when you said these wolf dudes, yeah?
Well,
tell me.
Okay.
Tell me. Okay, like I know I made a claim during this podcast that if they've got a raven very involved with them, then I'll buy one of them. Right? Okay. I don't want you to tell me about any ravens yet.
Okay.
What I want to know is about these wolf dudes. Quite a bit. I was going to say very detailed, but for a Warhammer fan, very detailed. They'll probably take about 90 hours. So what I'm talking is very detailed for me, which is about 10 minutes.
Okay, so here you go. I
no ravens
don't
involved.
Know.
Just these characters with wolves for about 10 minutes with no ravens.
Okay, right. So I don't know a whole lot about them. I think I have enough to fill 10 minutes though. So, like we said, you know how I said earlier about the Primarchs getting yeeted across the galaxy, and they all had their own planet. The Primarch of the Space Wolves was Leman Russ. Or because you're going to say it with a Scandinavian accent, Leman Russ. Leman Russ.
Oh,
and
that's made my balls ache. Yeah.
Yeah, and he landed on the planet of Fenris.
Fenrir's.
Fenris, yeah.
Nah, that's a reference to the wolf Fenrir, which is the main element of Ragnarok, which is the Scandinavian apocalypse, where the big old wolfy boy kills Thor and Odin, all of that sort of shit.
I'm not entirely sure, I might be bullshitting here, but I'm pretty sure the Space Wolves have like a Ragnarok prophecy as well. But essentially, Fenris is a fucking ice ball. It is very cold and very snowy on Fenris.
Just like Norway.
I'm
liking it.
It has wolves on it that are bigger than people. They have Fenrisian. Yeah, they are Fenrisian wolves, and they are fucking massive.
So it's literally a massive rip-off, then, basically.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. Now, again, I say I don't know a whole lot about them, so I'm just going to tell you like some cool Space Wolves facts. So Space Marines, because they're like genetically engineered super soldiers, and they have like incredibly high metabolism to like fight off poisons and stuff, they can't get drunk. Apart from the Space Wolves. Wait.
One sec. I know you're about to say something to make up for it, but I just got to lament a minute. I just got to be sad a minute.
Okay, can I go?
Yeah, carry on. No.
Okay. Apart from the Space Wolves, who can get drunk.
Come on, bring them all to Paddy's pub. Come on, bring them all in. I'm gonna put some images of them in Paddy's pub. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'm too lazy.
They can't get drunk off of like normal conventional beer, but they've made their own. They have made their own type of beer that can get them drunk.
Fuck now, if me, it sounds like a low.
Yeah, but they want to get drunk because they're Vikings and they want to fucking feast and party when they go on like.
I still appreciate it. Okay, fine. I still appreciate it. It's awkward, but fine. Okay, I still appreciate it.
Okay. So they can get drunk. Is what I was getting at essentially. If a mortal man was to drink this beer, they could if they had one sip, they'd probably be like fucked up. Like that'd sort them for the night. If they tried to have a glass, they would die because
if we had it, we'd probably be drunk.
I think we could manage 2 sips.
Exactly.
I reckon we could manage
That's
two
what I'm
sips
thinking.
of it. Yeah. If we had a
full
glass, if we had a full glass, we would die.
Yeah, that's what I'm after, really. I mean,
I'm trying to think of more cool facts about them.
You know that one scene in Avengers: Age of Ultron where Stan Lee plays the Vietnam War veteran, and it's like he says to like Thor, who's got his own like kind of Norse god hip flask. He's like, come on, it's not Omaha Bay, buddy, or whatever he says, and then he takes a sip of Thor's hip flask, and he's like, Excelsior. He's like really drunk and he gets carried out. That's us drinking this, whatever this is. If Stan Lee drunk that, he'd be dead before he's now. Sad times. But if we drunk that, we'd be dead in 5 years rather than now. I'm right.
That's it. It's either called Fenrisian Ale, or if you want the Scandinavian Fenris name for it, it is called Mjord.
Mjord. Okay.
I think that's. I think that's how you.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
I like it. Okay. So what's the be all and end all of these wolf people then? Go on.
I'm just going to quickly send you how the beard is spelled if you want to have a go at that, because I don't know. It's got one of those weird like Scandinavian.
The beer is spelled.
The beer, yeah. It's got one of those weird like Scandinavian letters in it.
It'll not mean much different. I can tell already. Yeah, it's Mjord. It's the same. Okay. It's Mjord. It's more from Denmark than anywhere else, from what I can tell from that. But it may as well be the same.
Okay, so I don't like I say, like their whole thing is Vikings. They are space Vikings. They believe in the honor of like hand-to-hand combat more than like sort of range firepower.
I know you're saying shit, Judge. Let's cut to the chase. We've been going for 2.5 hours. More than that. we're gonna get into it, and I genuinely would love to hear more about this kind of character in the Warhammer universe, and I will ask you about it. We ain't got enough time on stream and podcast for that. Okay. Is all I'm gonna say.
And also, I
don't give a shit what you're gonna say.
Okay.
And I need to ask you one thing to do with this before we end the actual recording. Tell me of the Ravens' involvement now. Go.
Okay. Like I say, I don't know how involved Ravens are.
Well, you're going to have to do your best. That's all you got.
Okay, I will tell you that Ravens definitely are involved. If you look at the picture that I just sent you.
Okay, no, that's fine. I will genuinely fairly assess how much they are before I buy any models. That's all I'm going to say. You have to try and tell me the level of extent that you know they're involved. From this picture you've sent, I will show it on screen for the video version. I'm not getting much. Tell me the most amount of Raven involvement that you can from your understanding.
Okay, from my understanding, this specific guy uses Ravens, Nyal Stormcaller. He is a rune priest. He's like, you know how I mentioned those psychic dudes earlier. He's kind of like one of them.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's runes on it. Don't align. Okay.
Then they don't use psychic stuff like other people do. They use like runes and stuff, like like Vikings would use like their runes and shit in
this
magic.
Is still definitely the most I would be interested in, but the linkage. Okay, keep going.
So, from all I know about this dude, I believe he used Ravens as sort of like truth sayers, and like they sort of like tell him shit. They're like soothsayers. It's from what I know about them. They'll like come to him and they're like, "Car, the enemy are," blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
So and that's because I don't know enough about Space Wolves. I'd have to go and learn about Space Wolves and come back to you.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you can't. You've not got that option. Is the thing. So, you got any more than that? Any more than that? You're on the edge here.
Specifically, do with Ravens.
It's all Ravens. It can be any other. It can be any other Space Wolves. It has to be Ravens. Is the thing. Ravens and wolves. I mean, to be honest, I know they're called Space Wolves. I'm not seeing much wolf stuff either.
Oh, okay.
So,
well,
I
can sort that one out for you right now. They can just take wolves into battle with them. Fenrisian wolves, like they're literally.
We're talking like Game of Thrones,
wolves.
Like massive.
No. Twice as big as that.
Okay.
These are big fucking wolves. They're massive wolves.
How many feet in height? 5'5"? Bigger than me?
6 foot. 6 foot tall wolves.
Okay.
They're big wolves.
Wolves are done then. Wolves are good. Okay, we're good with wolves.
Yeah. They also have cavalry troops that ride in on the wolves with like axes and shields, and they fucking cleave people as they like ride from these wolves.
That's still cool.
So they've got wolves. They've got a troop called Wolfen, and essentially they've been in the warp, sort of like traveling and raiding so long and like killing the enemies of the Imperium that the warp kind of fucks you over if you've been in the warp for a long time. So they've just started developing like a lot of wolf-like features. Like they'll get claws and they'll get the teeth and the muscle will start like growing out and stuff.
I like this. This is good. I like that.
So they have got...
Listen here, that right? Okay, this will convince me. This is something that could be a key to convince me. Is there a kind of troop, some sort of factional little kind of separate off thing? There's the same thing as those wolves. Just, got the little teeth and all that you just described. Is there one of those, but for ravens?
Like like raven people.
Yeah, a version of exactly what you've described, but for ravens. Is there one of those? There doesn't have to be to win me over. There doesn't have to be. There could be something else to do with ravens. That's fine. But if there is one of those to do with ravens, that would do it. I'm trying to guide you in the right direction, is what I'm saying.
So that there is. But
sorry.
I
know that's what we've teased, but I need to interrupt this because I don't know how to pronounce this name. Njord. is what I can think of. Is that the right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Mjord.
Yeah, that's the beer. That's the beer I was talking about.
Mjord.
That's what the beer's called.
Your
Jord.
images suck. Okay, yeah, sure. Carry on.
So a raven person does exist, but not for the Space Wolves. They are for a legion called the Raven Guard, and their whole. You're not like the Raven Guard.
Forget them.
Okay,
Doesn't work.
they're not for the Space Wolves. No. They've got wolf people. They've got wolfmen.
I think that's it then. I think we've come to a conclusion, right? Your top 5 has ended. That's fine. You almost convinced me with your top 5 to get a tattoo of one of these. It didn't quite happen though. The last one that you mentioned to do with these Viking-ish type people nearly happened. They're not raveny enough, just not quite. Very close, actually. Overall, though, I think you've done some decent job. Better than I did on shoes. The Swarm fella on number 5. Come on, let's be honest.
He wasn't your style.
I think even you know. Come on, rethink that.
I tell you what, if I would have done a bit more research into Saint Celestine, she probably would have taken it instead. I just don't know enough about her.
I don't even know about Saint Celestine, but I think we'll fuck her and like she'll probably be better. And no, the reason I say that is because that's the nature of this kind of, thing. I'm not just being a weird guy in general. That's kind
Jake
of how
is
things
a
work here.
disgusting perverted.
I'm in Paddy's pub.
Man.
I think that's excuse me from anything, right? Anyway, so you number 5, not so fun. You number 4 and you number 3, those were my favourites. Their whole intertwined story. Now that's some good shit. Number 2, I can't even remember what they are. I genuinely couldn't give a shit about your number 2. Your number 1. Now that's produced some good ideas, but I think you know what I'm going to say about that. I don't need to say anymore. Anyway, look, I'm drunk more than I should be. Fuck me. You know what I'm going to say is I deserve an award for being so sober by the end of this. Because Jesus Christ, it's been nearly 3 hours of this. I've done a lot of kind of trying to be drunk for entertainment in this whole thing, and I've maintained my composure, is what I will say. And we've done nearly 3 hours worth, and fucking hell. Yeah. Okay, so fuck you if you've not listened to all of this. Genuinely. Fuck you.
You're not even a real fan.
Yeah, exactly. You're not. So fuck you. You've never even been to Paddy's pub, and this is the longest podcast ever. This is the most free content you're going to get out of us, probably. So that's it. Go on. Last statement, Judd. Go. Last thing you're going to say.
In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, there is only war. There you go. That's what I'll say. Also, strangle your dogs.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Okay, bye.
That's the